Hey, salam. Hey Mel, how you doing? Happy Friday, everyone. Alilo Solo. Eating, salam. All right, guys, coming on. Now everybody sees you. Noah might have to get under some lights real soon. Peace and love. T.R.A.P. Hey. Salam Asmorom. Happy Friday, everyone. Eid Mubarak to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Now he said Eid Mubarak. Mubarak. Noah might have to get another phone and be like this. Get out from under that tree. Manny. What's up, Pete? Whoa, how you doing, brother? Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. There you go. Face the light, brother. Good to see you clear. Might have to have him go first, Salam, because his light is quickly. Happy Friday, sis. Let's go. Mansoor Noor. Mashallah, inshallah, Eid Mubarak, Habte. Yes, sir. How you feeling, man? Thank you, Goodbye, Hazomo. I love you guys. Salam to this piece. Let's go, share. Let's get it rolling. Jerusalem, salam, Jerusalem. There you go. I'd rather be on YouTube to get you more. Yes, we're on YouTube as well. All right, cut it short. I want to introduce you guys. Salam Yahwate, Kulo Alam, Abotat, Adetat. Some of them we can even say duck Amish. Yahwate, I'm Hulomi. Whoever wants to come in, I'll send you the link. We could come in and talk. But before we start, I want to say Eid Mabruch to all my Muslim brothers and sisters. تنشعت بهر ولا كناما ولا تجري كلهم زلهم Islam sogdu Eid Mabruch. Muskano Kumina, we love you. But before we begin, a moment of silence for all our brothers and sisters, the ones that are passing away, the ones that are experiencing genocide. I take my hat off out of respect. So we'll do a good 10-second silence for the victims in Tigray and the victims in Eritrea. And this is out of respect for our people. So we begin now. All right, thank you. Respect. That way, their death is not in vain. Anyways, today before it gets dark, I want to introduce my sister Salam. Noah, I'll let Noah go first since Salam is my co-host majority of the time. I know you guys, we've been killing the game. Let's see how this camera system works. Noah, my brother, how you been? Kamalaha? Let me see if I can bring you up. All right, there we go. Let me unmute you, Hansab. Introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you, Team Freedom, for inviting me to a wonderful show. My name is Noah. I've been watching your shows for about a couple months, and it's very interesting. You know, it's just it's basically another show that's bringing awareness to the situation back home. So, I admire the youth, the diaspora that's living in America, Europe, or anywhere else that's trying to bring awareness to this criminal clique that's running Eritrea for the past 30 years. So, I admire you, I admire Selam, I admire anybody that believes in justice and democracy for the people of Eritrea. So, I thank you, Team Freedom, and let's have a wonderful show.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Salam.
Everyone, I'm back for the third episode with you. Thank you for having me again. I just wanted to say, am I muted or am I just not loud?
No, yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, sorry guys. Hello, I'm Salim. I'm here I'm obviously co-host. Thank you for having me again. And I wanted to obviously bring attention to the event coming up on May 23rd. So we'll be talking about that together. So, do you want me to talk about it now?
Sure. For some reason, your volume, can you turn it up?
Maybe I'm just not close enough. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
Better? Okay. So, it's on May 23rd, we're going to be having an event, Prayer for Peace worldwide. It's going to be all over the world. And in the video, I may have called it Mahillal, and I think it was actually Mahillala. So either way, you probably know what I'm talking about. But please come, please bring the youth, especially. Like, we really need people to come together during such a terrible time. We have to undo all the damage that, I don't want to say the last generation has done, but like, we're perpetuating so much that we should take a step back and I really hope everyone showed up. And if you can't make it, it's going to be broadcasted on every Eritrean and mostly a lot of networks. We're going to put that out there. But that's all I just wanted to say. And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah, some are saying the sound is not right.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I heard.
Can you? All right. So I'm gonna bring Noah in, and if you could work on the sound, I'll highlight Noah for a second. Noah on
Yes.
big screen. I know it's getting dark. Where you at?
Yes.
What? As first of all, how old are you, brother?
I'm 24 years old.
24 years old. Why? Why do you? Why do you care about what's happening in Eritrea?
I mean, I'm human. I'm supposed to care about human lives. I don't care if you're from Eritrea, Tigray, anywhere else throughout the world, you know, even the situation that's going to Palestine. This is my human duty, you know, and why I care about Eritrea first is, you know, that's my nationality. That's where my mom and father's from. That's where all my culture and heritage come from. And the fact that I'm seeing people, refugees coming to America and hearing their stories, and it's nothing good about Eritrea. So that makes me care because I can, you know, just live an American life that we all do and just focus on what's going on in America. But it's bigger than that because at the end of the day, don't you want your mother, father, grandfather, and all that to be living good just like how you are? In reality, they're not back home. So that's why I care about it so much. And it's not that I wish, because at this moment right now, people are just dying like flies. So I feel like people should at least give some type of percentage into caring what's going on back home. So this is the reason why I care about the situation back home. It might be different for some people, but at the end of the day, I can only speak for myself, and I care about Eritrea and my fellow neighbors. Really care about all through the world, and it is other personal issues why I don't agree with the government, and I think it's the same for all the other people, you know, that are justice seekers. You know, you do have people that, you know, are so blinded to what's going on, and they put this false nationalism. And when they put this false nationalism over their eyes, it's not like they don't care about the people. It's just they're caring for one person.
Hey, Noah,
And
not to cut you off, but can you stop moving? And then if
yeah,
you're moving, can you find light?
yeah, I can. I just happened. I was actually taking a walk today. You know,
Okay.
just trying to have some cardio. But yeah,
I love it. I love it. Cardio is nice.
nah, I advise everybody to do that, especially, you know, especially people that's actually having family going through all this stuff in Tigray and all that. Cardio and all that. It, you know, it's good for your mental health. And I know a lot of people that actually, you know, that heard stories of their family members that died because of these barbaric soldiers that's in, you know, Tigray. That doesn't represent Eritrea, but represents one person. But yeah, I feel
You're
sorry. And
perfect. You're perfect right there. If you can stop right there and
yeah,
center the screen
hmm
and stop moving, you're dead. You're spot on.
yeah,
And then look at the screen. And then so let me ask you. So you're 24 years old,
hmm
and you actually care, even though you're Eritrean and both your parents are Eritrean.
hmm
Why do you care for what's happening in his Tigray? Because there's a lot of people, Zublu. And when they say that, they're saying, why do you only care about Tigray? And our message is, we're not only caring about Tigray, we're caring about Eritreans, Tigrayans, humanity. We're caring about refugees in Tigray that are Eritrean. We're caring about Eritrean political prisoners. We're talking about 60 years of Eritreans to Asirom Zalo, Eritrean. For 60 years, it's been nothing but Eritrean, right?
hmm
Now, as we Tigray at you look kumamalo. Maalu ti junta zibahala isas. Junta kama kuneblo in because junta word, you can't even call them junta anymore. Let's just call them murderer. Um,
the
so
word the word junta doesn't exist. It's junta, and that's what this is how these leaders that control us are not even educated to a certain point. When you have Ahmed saying junta, in reality, that doesn't exist. That word is junta. It's a Spanish word, a Latin Spanish word. So when you hear people like that and you have other people, especially in Ethiopia and basically, you know, cult supporters, PFDJ, repeat these words, they're not independent thinkers. They're dependent thinkers. They have other people think for them. So when you hear them, I don't. It's like it's irrelevant because first of all, you're saying the wrong word, and the definition of junta. How can the TPLF be junta? Even though some people say TPLF is bad and all that, but it's been elected by its people in September 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So that definition of junta basically goes out the window. If this is a democratic elected government within Tigray, how's that a junta? You know? So I don't. When you hear people say this stuff, it should be irrelevant. At the end of the day, it's about the people, and the reason why I care about Tigray, because first of all, it's my next door neighbor. Second of all, I'm human, and third of all, them people they actually did something for Eritreans. Yeah, you could have political difference with the TPLF, but these 100,000 refugees that were Eritrean, they was living in Tigray. It might not be the best condition. I mean, why do people think that a refugee camp is supposed to be a 5-star hotel? This is what I'm trying to fathom. Like, at least they gave them some type of place where they could stay at. They don't have to worry about going to Sawa no more. They don't have to worry about some people holding up for ransom. They don't have to worry about some crazy militia people in the Sahara Desert extorting them off their kidneys or anything. So I applaud the people of Tigray for actually caring about Eritreans that were living in Tigray. And you got some people that will call you, Wayane puppet and all this, but in reality, they need to ask their own selves, what has the government of Eritrea has done for its people? They already stole our, revolution for one person and his cronies. But in reality, people need to put political differences and actually start caring for the people. And people start doing that, I can see these two countries prospering. But the main problem is this Hayat Saforki and Abiy Ahmed as of right now. As of today's date in 2021, that is the problem. So yeah, I do care about the people of Tigray. I care about the people, even in the Oromo region right now. It is bound to be a full-blown genocide if stuff doesn't go right. So yeah, East Africa is going through a lot, but people need to start opening their minds and start being independent thinkers and stop letting them. People need to stop listening to what they have been told for years. I mean, your mother and father doesn't make them a credible source.
That's something that, yeah, that's very true.
Elaborate on that, Afte.
I mean, it's like, okay, so can you hear me okay, by the way?
Yes, I hear you clear.
Okay, cool. So my understanding is like, it's not even out of disrespect, right? Like, a lot of our parents want us to learn. They tell us to go to school. They're always like, why don't you read a book? That's always the case. But then once you start learning stuff and then disagreeing with your old ideologies, they're always like, where'd you learn that? No, someone's brainwashing you. And so we have to understand that our parents, they're survivors. They got us into the most beautiful positions, and I don't know how they got us here, especially with how they grew up. Like, it's crazy how they got us here. But that does not make them, just because we respect them and revere them and they are amazing individuals who got us to where we are now, does not mean that they have doctorates. Does not mean that you have to take every word they say as gold. That does not mean that you can't have your own opinions, because and that to me is just like, for example, Captain Eritrea and I were talking about it the other day. Like, there are so many HIGDEV, YPF DJ kids who have master's degrees, PhDs, and they still have a way of like making sense of it and justifying the fact that, like, yeah, we have a dictatorship back home, but I think Isaias, for me making it here, and like, you have a college degree, you're so proud of that, but you don't understand how that's conflicting with what you're supporting. Like, you are saying you're about higher learning, you're about freedom, you're about dreaming, you're about getting, self-actualizing. But when things happen, like when you see that this is happening to your brothers and sisters, you try to make sense of it. And that's because you're like, well, my parents know better. Or you're like, I don't want to have beef with my parents, so I'm just gonna like whatever. I'm just not. Most people are apathetic. I don't even think they mean to not care. They just really would rather stay away from quote unquote politics, and that's why I hate the word politics, because I always say there is no politics in a land with no law. There's no rule of law. There's no constitution. This is strictly human rights. I am not a politician. I don't know anything about that, nor have I ever claimed it. I'm only saying, yo, these people aren't eating. These people are being raped in Sawa. These people are having national service and they can't survive. Because I used to buy a plate of French fries. I always bring this up. A plate of French fries is 90 natfa, and they only make 600 a month. Like, what are you? They can't survive off that. And so when I say these kind of things, it's like, yo, they should just get paid for their, they need a better livelihood. And also, if they work national service and get caught having a second job, it's over for them. And that means that their family is struggling. And clearly, they only got a second job because they were struggling already. So just imagine how many families get broken by this system. That's all I'm saying. And so it's like when people, so the point is like our parents are brilliant in their own ways, but that doesn't mean that you can't think for yourself when it comes to this. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, so the cognitive dissonance is annoying. And so what Noah was saying is, I think is true. Like, your parents aren't, they aren't the only people you should listen to about everything. Read a little bit, talk to people. That's the best way. Like, really talk to people who've experienced the stuff you're trying to understand. Like, we have so many resources, but we just don't take the time to access them or to like utilize them, I think.
Right. So, what is team freedom? Why is Captain always speaking? What do you want, Captain? Always who cares? Well, let me tell you. The problem is, all the youngins, we're watching you. Brainwash. Can you believe someone with a PhD supports Isaias Forky? Can you believe that? That's how deep rooted into brainwashing is. Someone that's supposed to be considered educated in societal view supports a dictator. How can you be educated and support a dictator? If you're not educated, you got to utilize common sense. But if you're not educated, and I'm like, well, Muhura Honan, Manal Batay Falutnu, or it doesn't register, he doesn't know 1 + 1 = 2. I don't know. Again, if you're educated and you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, Dr. So-and-so speaking on behalf of Eritrea, I'm like, you're not a doctor. I don't accept that. You're not educated. How can you be educated and support a dictator? Everyone in the world knows dictatorship is wrong, right? So how can someone educated support a dictator? That means your education is null and void. Because you don't know no better. Because muhurta bahil ka, degree sa ilu, master zalani PhD, doctor balanibad. Gin, na isay si dugufo, kolaiha, muhura honkan. It's like a kid that doesn't know better that touches the fire. You're like, hey, don't touch the fire. Ow. Hey, don't touch the fire. Ow. He knows not to touch the fire, right? Common sense. But what is team freedom? Why do we do what we do? Well, our agenda is to unite the people, to unite the youth, educate the youth, and break all the hypnotized people. Break that ideology of Eritreanism means Isaiasism. No, Eritreanism means Eritreanism. Isaiasism does not validate Eritreanism. Wow. That's the only thing people have to understand. Dawi to be Eritrean, I don't need Isaias, I don't need Noah, I don't need Salam. I just need me, Mish. That's it. That's all I'm saying. No one can tell me, hey, Dawit, you're Eritrean because you support Isaias. No. That's not how it works. You can your way out to the ocean. You support Isaias, you're not showing Eritreanism, you're showing Ethiopianism. You support Isaias, and no disrespect to my Tagarus, but you know what you're showing? You're showing Haile Selassialism. You're showing Mengistuism. You're not showing Eritrea, because what has Isaias done for Eritrea? Kamegaru Ma'abilwa. Kamegaru, he even tried to get rid of Giz, right? He tried to change it to Latin. So how is this Eritreanism if the president of Eritrea, unelected, is destroying what Eritreanism means? Therefore, if you're educated, you would know he's pushing for the unification of Eritrea and Ethiopia. Therefore, that's Ethiopianism. Maqsa Bahri. That's how you educate yourself. You don't need me to tell you getting your Hawati, because both of you have these, Mish. Both of you see this. You're thinking as you're watching the news. What are you seeing right now as you watch the news? Tell me, Noah, what you see happening. And I'm not, you're 24 years old, bro. You're from the East Coast. What do you see happening right now without anyone telling you what's going on? What do you see in the news as far as Eritrea and Ethiopia? And what is the agenda? What do you see? I'm going to highlight you as solo. Go.
What what do I see is something that is no different than I've been seeing the past 20 years. I mean, it's nothing different. He just took it to another land. That's all he is. I mean, it's nothing positive coming out of Eritrea. Like, what what's positive out of Eritrea? Like the story of Exodus in the Bible, right? Like, say hypothetically that story was never true, right? But it's happening current day in Eritrea. You got 3,000 people escaping Eritrea every month. How can Eritrea be so great for 3,000 people to escape? Do you see people in the United States? Do you see like 4,000 people escaping the United States like every month? Nope. Like in reality, before the situation in Tigray, I don't even think it was 3,000 people escaping Ethiopia, and that's a third world country too. So all it is just basically we have one man dictatorship. And to be honest, this is not even Isaiahsism. This is Shabiaism. The Shabia, people don't understand. What we see in Eritrea was bound to happen. When EPLF got in power after 1981 with Jet.Pa and all that, Eritrea was going to the dirt. That group was never for Eritrea. I respect the fighters, but the group, it's just people with self-identity issues. Isaias and his group is no good for Eritrea. They put a facade like they're for the people, but in reality, there was never. So, in reality, if you read history and what's going on from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, Eritrea was bound to happen like this. Eritrea did not turn bad after he locked up the G15. To be honest, they, went out heroically, basically spoke about it, but they helped Isaias be who he is. They were fighting for power against Isaias. These people believed in a Chinese ideology called Maoism. Yeah. Mao Zedong. So Eritrea was bound to be like this. One man leader. To be honest, if you pay attention to the Shabia, they were never diplomatically great. All they know is basically shoot first and ask questions later. Nobody can speak against these people. Look at Menkai and all these other groups. What happened to them? They got killed in mountains for speaking against the dictatorship of Isaias Afwerki during the revolution field when Eritrea was not even an independent country at that time. So in reality, Eritreans, once again, need to understand, and statistics doesn't lie too. I can lie through my mouth, but numbers don't lie. So if you see the amount of Eritreans in different countries and registered under the UN, coming into refugee camps, the numbers are very high for Eritrea. Does that show you that like, are you proud? Like, is this proud to be Eritrean? Like in reality, like independence is the only thing that I can celebrate within Eritrea. But in reality, what can I celebrate about Eritrea? People are dying back home. It's genocide in Eritrea too. You got people locked in their house because of this COVID-19. But in reality, he's just starving the people. So, I mean, I see hope in Eritrea, but the hope within Eritrea is people got to start realizing what's going on. The people back home know what's going on. They're suffering. I mean, if you don't got no food in your stomach and you're hungry for multiple years, you're going to know it's the government, It can happen a couple of days and you can be like, well, it's on me. But in reality, it's the government. So people got to wake up. And what we see right now, people supporting Eritrea and all this, a lot of these people, man, they didn't even support the struggle until 1974. Like, well, coming from the region of Asmara area and all this. So You know, these people were once unionists. So people got to read history. That's what they need to do. People need to start opening their eyes. You know, people only see from this far. People need to open their eyes, open their lenses. They only see from one straight road. If people actually see within a 360 radius, then people will start understanding. And, you know, and this is what I respect about Team Freedom. Even though y'all are the youth and you're learning throughout the way, that's called development. And isn't that supposed to be the youth? Like, we're supposed to develop throughout the years. And even though our parents, right, they done been to hardship and all this, but some parents have told their. Can you hear me, Captain?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, but I have hope in Eritrea. The youth just needs to wake up. The youth needs to stop listening to propaganda. I mean, in order for you to be Eritrean, you have to support Isaias Afwerki. That's fallacies. That is a complete fallacy. Like, that is a complete lie. Like, you cannot do that. In order to be Eritrean, you have to care about Eritreans. That's my definition of Eritreanism. But
So no, I understand. So with Noah capitalizing on that, Salam, do you see the question that's on the board?
Yeah.
What can the younger generation of Tigray Eritreans not to go to another? What can they do not? Because we all know Tukhina, Tuhonzalo, we know what the next step is. We know, regardless of who wins, Isaias or TDF or whoever wins, someone's going to pay the price for people dying. What can we do and what steps can we take to avoid that?
We, like you said, like Noah said, we have to learn our history, like really learn our history and figure out how, like, without each other, we wouldn't have made it here, right? That's already one thing. There's another part where our civilizations were very close. We only had one river separating us, right? There was a lot of love there before there was this hate. That's what we need to remember. I also think it's important that okay, this is one thing that Noah said is amazing. He said it's important that, like, with Team Freedom, even though we're just learning as we go, we're developing, and that's important. Eritreans haven't seen that in the in Eritrea, because we don't develop. By the time you're about to develop and get your personality, they take you to Sawa and they like kill your soul, right? So you're not a leader anymore. You have no mind. So when, like, our parents, that generation isn't really used to us even being out here and speaking. Most of our parents would rather us not be in the limelight, don't attract too much attention unless it's through degrees. Like, if you're going to school, get a degree, that's fine. But no one really wants their kid out here speaking on this stuff, because they're like, you don't know all of it. You don't know everything. Who cares? Why do I have to be a genius or a rocket scientist to speak on the fact that people are dying? Why do y'all keep trying to scare us out of speaking on this? Because I feel really bad. Like, I do think what's happening in Tigray right now, I don't care if you hate Wayana or not. If you know what's going on, if you've been on social media, you see any of it, there's no way it doesn't hurt you. Because if you can, especially if you can feel some way about what's happening in Gaza, you know, it's tragic what's happening in Gaza. But when I see the crying people suffering there, I see no difference between Eritreans, Tigrayans, Palestinians. And so it confuses me how Eritreans can do that, how they can be like, oh, I can sympathize with this person, but I can't sympathize with this person. And so I feel like, you know, people have been scared to make mistakes. I don't care. If I come out here and I misquote something, I'll come back and apologize for it. It's better than me being quiet and not speaking my mind. I don't know who I can spark. You know, like Tupac said, I may not be the person who changes the world, but I can spark the mind that does. So you want me to be quiet because I may not know 100% of the facts? And guess why I don't know everything? Because I was raised in Higdef and I was brainwashed. So I have to unlearn everything. Excuse me if I don't know everything yet, but I still have the right to speak. And so I really appreciate that you said, like, development is important, because people don't allow us the space to grow, make mistakes. That's another thing that kills me about Eritreans is, like, I feel like as Eritreans, we turn on each other very quickly. Like, we'll discredit each other so fast and we'll cut each other off. We'll isolate a person. We'll treat them like trash as if they were in our life our whole life, right? But the only man who gets all the love and respect and adoration and constant like forgiveness is Satan himself, these people will turn on their own kids but won't say nothing about Isaias. Oh yeah, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean that. And it's like, it's really terrifying to see it, honestly. Like when you see it from the perspective that I've been able to see in different parts of my life, it's really scary. It's like you will really turn on your family, but your love for him is always unwavering. There's no question. That's really scary to me. But yeah, that was the point. I just think history is important.
That's funny you say that. I know a lot of Eritreans that support Isaias Forky in San Diego.
Right, of course.
And
So
they
that's
will,
their hub.
yeah, NDC, right? They will literally make it out like if you speak against Isaias, oh my God, Dawit. Surah.
Like you had COVID before COVID.
Yeah. Dawit, Captain da Kapkaram Isaias Salundinaru. Menalbat Wayana you.
Captain Wayana, all this shit.
You gotta make it because you're like this. Kabzula defaultunium. Abeta walide, many a boy, many a day, Abguila, Abmera, Eritrea bandera, Ho Nabana, Kamzi Nabana, Hulufot, Urinulo, Nabahon. Salasa, Arba Ams Basahu. Isaias Forky Guhafin, Helka, Dawida Eritrea was a honor. Al below me. Because can you imagine shah messages every other day? You saw Dulamish? Haji Hari Lani said, Captain Agame, Tara, Tigray Motulo, Arhunum Zaytibelo Milani. I said, Dahan, how way? Ane? Ne Eritrawi Kaburte. Ane? Ne Eritrawi? I'm going to put them in a good light. Ken Zain it's a lot. Na Alam Korea. I'm going to shed good light on Eritrean. Come, Hama as a Logan, Abzi Wagan Kof Balu, it's a Gize Miss Are, it's a lichin abahum, bah, can a Belaina. Abahum Dumo Hofrikum Kuturina. I notice a Akumina. Many de Gafina na Isaias, Nefalitina. Many Ansar Isaias Arab, Nefalitina. So, Gualana Hana, the Hara is a hostile Quinat, Mr. Wade, Lichi Hamzagana, Mah, and the Horiokumina. Oh, Nehele. Is it quite new? But this is what's amazing. Zigarmokum. Nesai should go follow. Shamaati, Swats, because Eritrea Haira, the accept Shaitu, Kuluna Abihivolo. Sarawitna, Motulo, Hanulo for no reason. They just dying for nothing, right? We get it. So Eritrea is pretty much gone because he's not showing you the agreement. Coming go to Shaitu. He's not showing you how Asa was sent. Many Mahsab. He's not showing you none of that. So here's what's happening. We're sitting here idle, just waiting for something to happen. You know what's happening? Hizbi Tigray Motalo, Eritrea Sarawit Motu. That's it. Who's winning in? Many Zolo. Isaias, history na Eritrea Khatfut, he couldn't. Mitch, Hijigin, he finally found a way. Because Kurkur Abi Rakibu. So, Net Hizbi yet follow. Net Hizbi Khatfut, Sarawit Khatfut. Common sense. You gotta loot. You gotta kill all the soldiers to make the Hizbi, to destroy the Hizbi. Baabi Geruhani, what hadarat na abi khofilom kan that amatu Hizbi Tigray chafchafulo TDF katak ala sala. Eritrawi tafu Tigray tafu. Eritrawi tafu Tigray tafu. Eritrawi hum kollahu tish'ata biher yazuzallahu. Not just Eritrawi, malats Tigrinat rahani ba. Eritrean in general. Tish'ata biher. Tafu Tigray tafu. Every day, Kitri Holaki, Eritrean tafu, Tigray tafu. Eritrean tafu, Tigray tafu. Amhara tafu again, I trainiki. The only time you see Amhara tafu, when they walk over to Tigray, Yitahanu, TDF Yitahanu Mish, then Nalbat Sami. But you know what you do see about Prosperity Party? Yes, Eritreans do not want their freedom. You luflufu. You know why? Abis what hadarat, but baratim. They're weak. They're not soldiers. They're just civilians to eat. That's why Neretrawi Netagaru Alasulo. It's simple simple mathematics. Is this a do sub? Ba'alu to president na Eritrea khablaka khalos. Abi leads governor. Abi's marhana za'amen. I read Akanilu. He told you. I don't know what else he could tell you. At least he told you to your face, mish.
He's
Anyway.
never lied. He's never lied. He's
I
never
mean, he lies on things like political prisoners, but he would never lie on what direction he's moving to Eritrea. When he tells you he's gonna sell Eritrea to Ethiopia, he tells you to your face.
Like, and then people are just laughing, like, "Oh yeah, he's so funny."
He don't mean it. He don't mean it. Shabat Allah, khadaw ta aragi.
So you know, in reality, to be honest, it's hard to say this. I hold the government of Eritrea and also the people that supported this man. This man didn't come out the sky and say, "I'm gonna be your leader." These people supported him since 1968. So in reality, it's not all his fault. It's the people's fault. But in reality, it hurts to say this. But these people helped this man be who he is. It doesn't go 100% to him.
No, it doesn't.
It's at everybody. Man, I'm tired of saying this, but you had fronts like Jabha was telling people about who this man is. You had people like Ibrahim Totil in 1977 saying that this man working with Derg, this man is sitting down with Derg. It's documents that Isaiah said that he'll give up Eritrea. But, let Derg basically, get access to the port and all this, and it'll be like an autonomous region within Ethiopia. This man was never, if people understand who this man was, then people wouldn't be supporting him. People just now waking up in reality, and it's never too late, but I don't support it. I don't support the people that once supported him, and it's sad. You have people that literally killed their brothers and sisters for this individual. Isaias has manipulated the Eritreans, and it's very sad. And you have Ethiopians now, like Dina Mufti, that said that, Eritreans don't respect their independence. To be honest, I wasn't mad that he said that. You know why? Because Isaias has been saying this for the past 30 years.
Thank you.
In Tigrinya. In Tigrinya. And English too. So you telling me that Eritreans understand Amharic better than Tigrinya? So this is I to be honest, either Eritreans right now, either they're in a deep sleep right now. This is the time to wake up. This is the time for Eritreans to understand. This peace treaty that we see in 2018 was a treaty to kill Wayana and this people. So this government he's not unpredictable. He's only unpredictable to people that don't know him. This man tells you his whole secret. Only people that think he's unpredictable is basically people that are unknowledgeable, that are asleep, that are in, Patanti, everything that they're wearing, everything Isaias, They think that if they could tell them, Isaias could tell them in their face that, you're Ethiopian, and they're like, yeah. And then at the end of the day, they say, oh, Isaias didn't mean it like that. Who is for you to be his bodyguard? You're not getting paid to, use damage control or anything like that. In the White House, you have Donald Trump, right? That can say the craziest stuff. And he has a task force called Damage Code that can actually make it seem like he didn't even say that. You have Eritreans that live in America that will really defend Isaias and say that, no. People, once again, I'm tired of repeating myself. People need to just use the statistics that's what's in Eritrea. Eritrea is not in good shape. Worst economy in the world. No, they're number one for no internet. It's no internet in Eritrea. I advise people to, try to contact their people with Facebook and anything that's in Eritrea. But in reality, they can't do it because they don't have no internet access in Eritrea. What does that show you?
Let me not to cut you off, brother, but let me highlight exactly the type of people you're talking about. أنا إريتراوي، سخا Eritrean. Haftina Eritrean. Amish? Okay, check it out. Do you see this Futsu Maradom highlight? Get him. He says
He can't even spell game.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying.
But he needs to go to ESOL, man. They got
ESL,
free.
right?
Yeah, they got.
ESL. But check it
Yes.
out. This is my point. English second language for Umararum. You spelled gom over. You will again. It's not even the gom over is the sakaka. Because we're talking about how bad Isaias Afwerki is. This man says, let me show you what he says. ፓፒት ወየነ ትግራይ ሆም ለናሎ ነናሃ ንብሎ ለና ህዝብና ይመውት ኣሎ ህዝብና ይተመሃረን ዩኒቨርሲቲ ዘለን ኩሎም ስንኩላት ተቀቲሎም ኩሎም ይሕዋትና ጀጋኑ ንዓድና ዘዋፅኡ ነበረ ሓሪድዎም ቀቲልዎም ኢኤስኤል ተሪፍካ ዝሓወይስ ባዕልኻ ከመን ኤርትራዊ ኣይትመስልኒ ኢኻ ሲኡ ትሽግርና ኤርትራ እዚኦም so I'm glad he came because
this is really embarrassing. This is really embarrassing.
That's okay because kula alam Eritreawi tagaro kulam zurina zalo Mr. Pappy Mason yiriwalo isawalo. I advise you futsumaradom haway wala mharahun wala firki dergi khun ba'alha haway bajaha tamahar bajaha sma' aytzarab dek Eritrea yiblokhalo aytahagosnan أصلاً بعلقة سدتي خازلقة. You are somewhere else. تبلا علقة أفروقة نمشكا قفلكا تيجي تريلقة. أنا هقابلك الله. سكاكوت عمكايم. عدي الشخ وتخلقة. بعلقة you know بعلقة خمانة بلكانة. بعلقي تملسي عطيكي تقالسي. كندا بزيت تعرف راح زبلكا. كل محواتنا زريزة لوهانا خمزي. كم يوم مزيد شجرنا إريتريا إذا حجنا دوك أنت يزمهرهم puppet يمهرهم gone over يمهرهم pizza يمهرهم إسايز جيتا إخهم ناتكم جيتا إسايز أملاخ يلان يزبلهم إذا يوم حمام نا إريتريا بعلو خمان هاريمو متيوس نعنا كشجر الناس بزعبا ويانا خايلن أنا هاني organization government support أجبرنا Isai Sarat, I don't support. Abi Sarat, I don't support. TPLF, I don't support. I don't support no government organization. You know what I do support? Kamziyami Hawate? Hizbi, Amlah, Hizbi, Amlah. That's it. If you can't get that in your thick skull, the people and God, that's it. We don't support no government organizations that are killing people. I don't know how else to. That's like my brother said. You could say that until you're blue in the face and somebody will come, you know what they'll say? You're agame because you don't want people to die. That's basically what he's saying. No, I know what the amlach is.
I mean, see, this is what I don't get to. And it shows you that I think he does want to learn, you know, in reality, because if he know that we are, you know, Wayana puppets or, you know, basically sellouts, why is he on this show every time saying this? Like, why can't you watch like the Shabia Higdef room that they have on Facebook? It is other rooms that you could go to that fits your narrative. But something that doesn't fit your narrative, you still, like, he probably watching this whole thing. It's probably like, what is this, an hour and a half? He's watching this. So it must be something that's very interesting. It must be something in his head that's telling him, like, you know what, his ass might be bad, but, you know, if I say he's bad, then I lose my nationality. It doesn't work like that. I mean, the only way you can lose your nationality, I know in America, treason is the number one, right? Like, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, like, there's many ways to lose your nationality. But I mean,
lose your nationality. I'm talking about basically like somebody that's like born in the United States. But yeah, it is other ways. But why does he come on this and waste his energy if he knows that we're not talking about the narrative that he wants to hear? Why is he commenting saying that puppet Wayane? But what's crazy is Wayane is killing Eritrean soldiers day and night. This is what
not only that, bro, but the word agame, the true meaning of agame is hardworking.
There is a reason.
Right. So this that's so, but people want to turn the word agame into something negative. Me, you can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. All I'm telling you is that how when he's like here to argue, but bushti ablubu. يسمعوا. That's why Kanzarab Kolana ينددي وش مالت يردو. He's like, man, how come you the عادي يموتلو اتين grandma نتي ترشين تقوريت ان بدرجي أنا خوفي لس كما يجري ان net narrative كيرو. I'm gonna look like a fool if I go outside of size. Since I've been supporting them all my life, I'm gonna look like a hypocrite. Right. It's okay, my brother. Our sister did it. She learned, educated herself, turned her brain around, and was like, no. Fact. Who's the number one Eritrean killer besides Forky? Fact. Who's the number one Eritrean hero killer besides Forky? Fact. Who's the number one Eritrean school, university destroyer besides Forky? Who's the number one North Korean leader equivalent to North Korean leader besides Forky? So when you know all this, how can you continue to be a zombie? It's so easy. Salam, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so like when I grew up in that, the reason why these people, they don't know everything we're talking about is because it's just like Scientology. You're not, like, I don't know if you know how Scientology works, but you aren't allowed to watch things that conflict with what you're told. Literally, you're not allowed to. Like, you're going against. It's more than a religion. Higdef is more than religion. It's like, it's a lifestyle. It's your whole circle. It's your echo chamber. You know. So,
cult.
Right. It's a cult. Yeah. Exactly. Sorry, I should have said that. So when you guys say, like, how are they missing all this? It's like, that's why you know, when we're in clubhouse rooms, it's really hard to talk to these people, because when we bring up facts, they're like, well, what are you reading that from? Because on Dahai or Era TV, it didn't say that. And it's like, to them, those are real sources, the reliable sources. And so then to them, everything else is a lie. Everyone's out to get Eritrea, and they're not allowed to watch anything else because nothing else matters as far as they're concerned. What you were saying, like, Noah, in the beginning, you were saying, what has the government of Eritrea done for the people? We didn't grow up like that. We didn't grow up caring what our government could do for us. We grew up caring what we can do for our government. That was what my life was for. That was my purpose. Like, you go to school, you learn whatever you need to do, and then you go back home and you teach. You go back home and you do this. You go back and you work within the system, so you don't notice that you're supposed to corrupt it or anything like that. You just, because you're treated really well. When we go as YPFDJ members, you're treated like royalty, which is why I know a lot of people who I used to respect, who literally have college degrees, have gone to Eritrea to help for 2 years and come back saying it's perfect. No, it's not. Maybe you had a good time. Maybe you had running water. Maybe you had some food. But let's not front like you didn't see homeless people everywhere. Like, you didn't see that there was, you know, everything is affected. So when you guys say things like, how can they just not see this everywhere, saying, it's because when you're in a cult, you're not allowed to, they don't care what the truth is. The truth is not what matters. What keeps them comfortable is what matters. And that's another thing we have to understand. PTSD and mental health in our communities runs rampant. A lot of these people feel like they have nothing else to live for. When you're that helpless and hopeless, it makes sense to them to constantly, like, it makes sense to them to just keep going with whatever they're comfortable with. You think a 60-year-old wants to make new friends? They don't. You know, they want to keep the friends they've had this whole time. And that's ultimately how this man has kept his power. He knows you want to keep going to these events. You want to keep your friends. You want to be isolated. You know how people treat you. Like, well, I'm lucky I didn't mind, but like, really, you get isolated. Like, and I already mentally prepared myself, which is why it took me so long to even voice my opinion. But there's a lot to it that, like, I feel like even I forget to be compassionate, but there's a lot to it that I feel like you guys could never understand, because you luckily were just born with the truth. We weren't. We have to, like, figure out how much of our life was a lie, how much to unlearn, how much to relearn, like I always say. But I did want to say one more thing. Like, what confuses me about Eritreans is, like, especially Higdef, when we come to America, like, for example, last year, my boy Andom was running for Congress in New York. And so we're trying to have, like, Zoom meetings where we're getting people to donate money as a Habesha community. And everyone Eritrean who was pretty much like, I think it was Higdef, I don't know, but most of the Eritreans were just like, well, what have you done for Eritrea, though? Like, they didn't care that he can help the school here where your kids are going. They don't care. He didn't care. Like, they didn't have any care for that. They're just like, what can you do for Eritrea? And he's like, nobody can do anything for Eritrea, let's be real, right? And so, except for, like, trying to raise awareness and whatever we're doing, but we're pretty limited in what we can do. And so when they said this, I realized like our parents are kind of stateless. They don't want to have anything to do. They don't go to PTA meetings here. They don't care for the communities here. I don't know about you guys, but like in Higdef communities, everything's about Eritrea. Everything's about back home. That's what, so they give their little $200 every few months thinking they're helping. It's not working. It's not doing anything.
2%. They got to give their 2%. Look what he wrote. He wrote, Wayene is killing Eritreans in Tigray. Now let's utilize critical thinking, Yahuate. Wayene is killing Eritreans in Tigray. One would ask, why? Then the answer would be, why are Eritreans in Tigray? سمعنا في مرادهم. سمعنا حول. Wayene is killing Eritreans in Tigray. Why are Eritreans in Tigray? Second question would be, if Eritreans are coming to Tigray as soldiers, wouldn't that be called invasion of land, invasion of a country without invitation? Oh, but wait, who invited them? Abiy Ahmed. There's war. Eritreans enter Tigray. Therefore, Wayene has to defend itself. Inevitable. There's no way around it. If you attack Dawi and you're Eritrean, and I wipe you off this earth, Dawi is killing Eritreans. But why? Because you attacked me.
Dawi. But I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think he's talking about that. He's trying to be slick, and he's using the allegation that a Caucasian lady that made named Natalia about Tigray militias killing Eritrean refugees in Tigray. Okay, and what if this is true? Okay, if it's true, then that's wrong from whoever's doing it, right? But where was you, Higdef supporter, when you didn't even recognize an Eritrean refugee? You say that all the Eritrean refugees that were dying in the Libya Sea was Tigrayan, or from the region of Amhara, or Oromo. There weren't Eritreans. Nobody's not leaving Eritrea. You saying that Eritrean refugees are only leaving for iPhones and all this, like, bro, it's all documented. One thing about Higdef, when it gets destroyed, all this stuff that's been on the internet, something that's on the internet is hard to get out, especially when you actually get on a news station and make yourself look like a fool. Like, anything that Higdef does is like that's their culture, that's their nature.
Like Rahel Sabatu, straight clown, publicly.
I mean, one thing about her, she's getting paid for it. I'd rather get paid for it than doing it for free. But it's still wrong. But that's what he's talking about. But in reality, does he even care about Eritrean refugees? Like, in reality, why is Eritrean refugees in Tigray? The reason why Eritrean refugees in Tigray, because nobody can live back home. They have to run to another country and be a refugee in Tigray. So now it's war. In reality, from my analysis, it could be a couple of Tigrayans that have basically, they're mad at the situation of this war, and they didn't see what happened in Hitzat and Shemelba when the Eritrean troops came in, and they seen Eritrean refugees that were actually spies and picked up weapons and fought with the Eritrean soldiers to kill, Tigray militias or Eritrean opposition that was in this camp. Yes, you had some people that take it in their hand. Not everybody in the war, even the good side, not everybody's not on the right path. So in reality, what he's saying is, I'm not trying to curse, but it's like, it's shenanigans. It's you're not going nowhere with it. If you really cared about the Eritrean refugees, why you didn't care about it before November 4th when this war started? You didn't even believe that Eritreans was escaping from Tigray. So in reality, for people like him, I don't pay attention to him and all this, because if stuff go down and these people have an offensive to Eritrea and you really care about Eritrea, I want you to go back. and
Right.
put your Congos and really fight for Eritrea if you really believe,
Yes.
in your sovereignty that you Higdef been claiming for the past 30 years. No, really, after they lost that war in 2000, if you really care about your sovereignty, just know that this war right here will spill over into Eritrea. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how people gonna take this, but I'm not trying to sound here like no salad. Wayana is not scary people, man. The people of Tigray, they're not scary individuals. These people are determined people. See, one thing about the people of Tigray and the people of Eritrea right now, Isaiah's got these people moving like sheeps. He tell them to go anywhere. This is not the first time Eritrea then fight in different places. They didn't fight in Yemen, Sudan, even some parts of Chad and Congo. So Isaiah's got these people moving. They're fighting for Isaiah's. The people of Tigray fighting for Tigray. Yeah, you could say they're fighting for Wayane, TPLF, and all that. At this moment right now, they're fighting for survival. So this war right here will spill over into Eritrea. And let's see of these Higdef people that really love Isaiah's in their country. Let's see if they're gonna really protect Eritrea. Like, let's see this. In reality, they're just gonna complain like how they always do. It's just a matter of a time when this regime should fall. But in reality, this regime will be fallen by Eritreans that are determined. But well, we'll see. And every day is a promising day. Every day is not guaranteed too. So let's hope for the future. But Higdef, they're no hope. They're just papagallos. They're like, when you talk to them birds that and they'll say everything that you say. That's what they are. They just repeat what Area TV say. These are papagallos, man. They don't have no dignity, man. They don't have no heart. They don't have no determination about themselves. These people are political prostitutes. These people are people that get controlled by other people. In order for you to fit in to their community, you have to be Higdef or whatever. Man, Eritreans, if you hear stories about how Eritreans were back in the 70s and 80s, man, you had people that literally wanted to be Eritrean. You had African countries. They say, you're from Eritrea, I wish I was from there. People used to think that every Eritrean that come out the womb was a warrior. But nah, this whole thing, it says to destroyed it. It's over with. The Eritreanism, the hero mindset, it didn't went out the window 91. Really, to be honest, it went out the window with Jebha, but Shabia basically rebranded it, and it is what it is. Eritreans right now, they just follow. He literally got the whole country on the iron fist, and he tells them to go to Tigray, and they'll fight. And to be honest, them soldiers that are doing all this rape and all that, they're not forced to do none of that. Nobody's not putting no Kalashnikov to the head and say rape a woman. That's a individual thing that's going on in Tigray. All this, trying to protect and the Eritrean image. Man, the Eritrean image is destroyed. It's up to the people like us to rebuild it, but that's going to take us a long time. But it was nice talking to you, brothers, and I love. It's nighttime over here. The house is like about half a mile, but I really appreciate you, Team Freedom, and you're gonna have people that's gonna criticize you. It's not even only from Higdef camp; it's gonna be from opposition camp. It shows you that how the unity has been destroyed.
Oh. Wait, I'm muted. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we lost our brother Noah. I don't know why the names are not showing up today. I mean, on the screen, I can see your names, but it's weird. Solemn. Someone was asking for to to see if we could display the name. Let me see. Yeah, it's not showing your name, is it?
My name? Oh.
Can you control that? Meanwhile, let's do this. Let's share a screen. Let's go to here. Facebook. getting a lot of, let me see. You guys see this? Can you see that sound?
Yes.
There we go. Prayer for peace is too big, ain't it?
I mean, you're only showing that part where it says prayer for peace. I think that's enough. Like, I think you could just show.
Go ahead, elaborate on that while I play with the mic, please, or with the screen.
Right. So we're gonna have this event, Prayer for Peace. It's gonna be worldwide. I actually, while we're having this conversation, my friend just texted me and asked if she can have one in Perth, Australia, because she saw that Melbourne was having one. So hopefully we can get even more people to do it. But we're gonna be having this in both coasts, East and West Coast in America. Hopefully we can get something in Canada, but we're not really sure yet. And then we have something in South Africa. We have a few events in Australia. We have London, Germany. I think one of the Scandinavian countries, I'm not sure which one, but ideally, we believe, it's been in our history to always pray during times of tragedy. So we decided that we're going to go back to the basics. We're just going to do what our grandmothers and grandfathers always did and just pray to God, because things are just too much right now. I don't know about you guys. I'm not in the mood to dance or sing or any of that for Independence Day. So we decided to do something. The event that I'll be at will be at Lake Merritt in Oakland, California on May 23rd at 2 o'clock. But keep an eye out for other flyers that'll be coming out for different parts of the world so you can know exact location and times. But this is basically an event for all religions. That includes people who don't have religion as well. Please come, and just all we ask is just come with good intentions, come with a peaceful heart. You just come, and we're going to all be praying together, but you can pray in your respective way. You don't have to be with the group if you don't want to. It's just going to be a pretty relaxed, like a relaxed thing. Instead of screaming for peace, we'd rather just try peace for peace. So we're going to be doing marches, like we'll all be walking together, and it's just a way to show unity. It's a way to just come together and have a safe place for all Eritreans. And we'll be inviting Tagaru, of course. We can all pray on things that we obviously all need to pray for, and then we can do whatever we need to do separately. But we just hope people come, especially the youth. Like, that's really our main goal, is like getting youth out there, because we, once our parents' generation's gone, like we have to keep this going, right? So that's what the event is. It's prayer for peace. That's pretty like self-explanatory, and we invite all of you.
All right. So yeah, she said it's kicking off in the Bay Area, Oakland. Everybody can see this. Prayer for peace. Be there, be square, support it. Want everybody to support it. Want you guys all there. The reason why we want you there is to show it to Hizbi Queenat Zalo, to Hizbi Zahalif Zalo, to Hizbi Zmawad Zalo. We can pray for them. People think that in her to believe in her, then you would know that through God all is possible. Mish. So what does it cost you to come out and what does it cost you? Everybody needs healing right now. Pray healing mental, psychological. The least you can do, drop your Starbucks or even bring your Starbucks coffee. I don't care. Come, Misana, pray to go. That's it. It's not hard. Just say, hey, God, we hope, or we pray that Hizbi Zahalafe Mangizi Samaya Waruso it Hizbi Jit Amidalo Bajahad Hunanom Adhunom. And I'm saying that only because what? Because I care. Because I have a heart. She cares. Not because I want to be I want to be a science. That has nothing to do with politics. The politics is causing the issue. But we, the people, can support the people. Netehizbi, Bizaba Tehizbi, Gaddasi Konalana. Has to be. What I don't like is Tiam Farahat. Abgazahofilka, Sabkairi Eni. Ane, Kahawas, Sabkairi Eni. Mosha Wikiha. Shha Amlahiri Akalo. Silence is violence. And silence is telling me that you support atrocities and genocide. Don't be silent. You can silently pray with Team Freedom in the Bay Area. You can silently pray. You don't even have to say one word. You can come with your bandera, your kufi, or whatever you wear, step outside and just do this. Your conversation with God is your conversation with God. That's simple. Manifold. Yeah. So it's not hard to care for people. We have brothers, we have sisters. We are human. You see this? I speak for Hizbi Eritrea and I speak for Hizbi Tigray. And I tell you, Mu'tal is wrong, Mihrad is wrong. بتحت أملاح سلزرينا زلو خمزلي تمتنالو سخاتكم كأني حماق تزاربو game over يموتوا يتميو تبلو زلهم كان خمس غير أملاح زريكم زلو أباها أني فطواهم. I don't have to tell you. بعلهم إن حير إن أملاح at church كيتكم كأني أبويك أشي خطبلو نفضكم منا دقكم كأني نريكم منا نحنا نريكم منا أبويك أشي هي تولو تعلو أبا تشين أنت ننش أنت هي سلامنو داوت بالالو أبا تشين أمسكنني like all day long نريكم نحنا ها خوفنا بترخيصنا مساهم ننكت كم دينا. Don't even really understand what's going on because بتقرينا or بمحرنا or whatever the it's is about مش. But what I'm saying is the point of me telling you is instead of preaching hate, junta, game over, use your energy. If you don't like Tigrayans and you don't like TPLF, then show up and pray for Eritreans. Nah? You over here talking about, oh, أنا إريتراي زموتو زلوهني أوكي مساخة لنا إريتراي زموتو زلو بزعابة إريتراي زموتو زلو كن زارب مش أوكي أما نعد قفهم مسيخة كله عصيخة بحنقولك جونتا خمزيك تي بي ال اف كله قريفك إتو زموت زلو إريتراي سكي مساء سجاد مسؤوم نعوم بجاها أرحنهم أملاخ بل سكي كله قرفو. What's your excuse now? Is he event نقبرو زلنا prayer march نقبرو زلنا نتي إريتراوي حوات كازموت زلو نعاسك صلايلو نعاسك بجاها أملاخ أرحنهم بل نتجاروس كأني يحواتكم زموتو زلو زت أمي زلو كل عالم يريالو مسيحهم كأني نحاولكم. You don't have to pray for Eritrean you don't have to pray for Tagaru but at least pray for you نحب بس الأت نحب ملئي اللبخة at least نهز بخا مسيحة pray give. That is not hard. This is not hard. Sunday tasiha, nesalaha gerka, ga'atka baleha, hambashaha hiska, cool. Go out there, nbeiniha, whatever, abu tarahibka. Rah. Your conversation is between you and Amlach. ما ننسب سمعك خلني. إن دعرت فلاتيكا غليلو بت microphone we follow him. إتيهم صبوا جرم تصوري لبوم جن بحساب زراخو زلو بحساب دسامة معه حزب تجراي كايما وتزبلو بحساب تراخيبنا نعملها هون نبل please أرحنا نعملها سن نقبر لنا بتسألت لبنا ملي إلو أرحنا يحواتنا متلو إتيهم عديز تأسرم زلو بإريتريا سوسا عمتي متلو ولا حنتي أجوركن عملها كرحنهم سكبا جاخا يتحزر لي تقراوي خازق قتلو زلو بسنك إسايس بجاخا رحنهم. Nobody's asking you for anything hard. I'm just asking you to do your daily business, your daily. Will you go to church on Sundays? Show up and show respect to the deceased, in prisoners, in children, in Hizbi Zimowatello. I'm not asking you for anything. Go ahead, Salam.
No, yeah. To me, it's just common sense. There's no politics. There's no confusion. But I mean, we're on the same page about that. I really just hope people like I hope people who don't usually come to these kind of things do take it upon themselves, because we're at a different part of life right now where in our history, actually, our history is being erased. We had an amazing history, and now it's completely tarnished by what's going on. And like behind the scenes, our country's being sold, and then like there's also the threat of imminent violence on our family members back home because we've invaded another land. Like, we really need this. If you believe in God, you know that collective energy, the power, the frequency, all of that matters. We really need everyone to come out. So, I mean, I don't really have anything else to add. Everyone's relationship with God is their own. Even if you don't have a relationship with God, come. Like, it's we'll have water bottles, you'll have people there. It's mostly, and most of us have been stuck in the house, the past year. You might as well just come out and be with your people. It's Independence Day. I don't know.
No, 100%, Gary, 100%. I support that. I want to say hi to my brother Sultane. One thing. Let me Sultane get a Sultane Tiftui show. You guys are everybody knows Sultane. He's the biggest media guy out. One thing I will say about Sultane. A lot of people, they love Sultane, but there's a lot of people that don't agree with Sultane. Mish, I'm gonna give him his props because here's what Sultane does. Sultane will listen, and he will always err on the right side. He'll never let his meninat get in the way. He'll never let his salam Sultana Girmai Tiftui talk show. Hawaii. If you guys don't know who that is, you guys need to subscribe. I deal with Sultana a lot. I call him, hey Sultana, what do you think? Hey Sultana, what do you think? Hey Sultana, Hagzani, Sultana. I call him all the time. And what he tells me is, don't jump this way. Don't jump this way. He doesn't. He goes straight with it. You know what I mean? When he sees someone in need, he jumps in there and he uses his platform to help that person. Mish, he's changed people's lives like that. I remember that kid that was doing the little movies or whatever, the younger kid. He came with his friend, Mish. So, and I got him 10,000 subscribers. I was like, wow, like that, Mish. I remember the lady in Saudi Arabia, I can't mention no names, Mish. What did Sultana do? Sell their Watsila publicly for GoFundMe. So, but what does Sultana gain from all this? Does anybody ever notice what he gains from all this? You think he gains millions of dollars? Sultana has a full-time job like me. Full-time job, you feel me? So what does he gain out of all this? Tell me. What do you think he gains out of all this? Zero. His bigadasi. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't say, I don't like Muslims. He doesn't say, I don't like Christians. What he says is, his Eritrea, biher, kidigafene. So I'm blessed. I'm going to help them. We all have our own ideologies and how we process politics, how we process people, and it's really, really hard to be on the media. It's difficult. Trust me. I get a lot of hate mail. I get a lot of love mail. But the problem is, are you mentally strong enough to continue without feeling some type of way? Oh, because he don't do that. And he defends himself very well, you know what I mean? Sometimes they get in the show and try to talk bad, and he shuts them down. I have a lot of respect for you, Sultana, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to the youth. The youth is the future, and you know that, my brother. So anytime, what I would like to do, Salam, is I would like to get you on his show. And I already engaged him about it, and I told him you're willing to represent Team Freedom and Good Light. Everybody knows Salam has a couple videos out. One of them is like 570,000 views, which is excellent, which tells you she's no spring chicken, right? She knows how this game is played. So I would like you to go into Sultana's show. Thank you, Sultana. And I would like him to interview you. And you're in your 20s, Mish. Yeah. So the world needs to see. And I told Sultana, I said, Haftana, she was with that Higdef crowd, Mish. Nera Karam, Ginta Melissa, Libata Melissa, Taradiwa, she's part of Team Freedom, and I want her to go to your show and explain herself. She could use my YouTube because we're both building my YouTube together, Captain Eritrea. From there, we can build her YouTube, and we just keep building the Eritrean people and Tagarus that want to jump in and help. Same thing. We all can win, Mish. But how do we win? How do you think the youth can win? How do we police each other? When you and I come here and talk all the time, Kanzarab Kolana, what do you think the youth? I know the young is Yurina Lomish, but what is the point? What do you think they get out of it?
I think they're able to understand that we, for one, like you and I are clearly optimistic. Most people feel like there's no hope, so they just don't even care. Like the amount of hope and faith we must have inside to be even doing this, I would hope that inspires people, because it is definitely thankless. It's exhausting. It kills your spirit sometimes, like seeing your own people turn on you. And so I would, and then also hopefully they learn something new, especially from me. Like I would hope they learn, like if you come from a family that you know will disown you for speaking your truth, rip that Band-Aid off now. At some point in your life, you're gonna have to speak your truth, right? You're gonna have to live your life how you want. Just get it started now. Speak your truth, because at the end of the day, like, you know, if you, especially if you believe in God, God doesn't care if you listen to your parents. God gave you intuition. God gave you a gut. God gave you a heart. You know, like you have to use that on your own. So, I would hope that they learn, and then also I like even with I would hope that we can teach people to like bridge the gap between different generations. That's one thing that I really want to do, is like there's so much we can learn from the older generation, but because we haven't had an open space to talk about things outside of like, why don't you read, or did you eat today? You know, our parents usually just talk to us like that. It would be great to understand like where we really come from, who we come from, what is expected of this new. I think like we deserve a utopia after this, after Isaias. Like we deserve heaven on earth. And so I would love to talk to people about like just have more I just think it will give us a sense of community. Let me just end it there. I think it'll give us a sense of community by having us talk about this stuff. Yeah.
So what is the greatest obstacle for what would you say is the greatest obstacle for? I know a lot of youth. I watch you on Instagram a lot, Mish, and I study you, and I'm like, man, she really really tries hard, but then I also see a lot of hate, and they got this enemies to Eritrea page, Mish, and I saw you and I there. That's okay. Again, imitation is the best form of flattery, Mish. So if you're speaking about me in a hateful manner, that means I'm in your mind. That means بزعبا ناتي حسب الله تدك أسألها تبلع لها داويت خات حسب لها كنت كسرته لها بون سالم خات حسب زلها. That's okay. That means I'm resonating.
Right.
هنقول كله يتنكفى كله boom boom أتا تسع أتا هدف تسع أتا تسع يلا تسع السخا نسايس تدقفوا لها كما تراهم سمعوا داويد كم زيلو داويد سالم كم زيلا ساتنا خم زيلو تسيام كأني حنقولهم تبزبيسهم كم زامبيس أبزي ما تسيام كسعرفوا علو. Even the youngins that drank the Kool-Aid, like the Teke East little dude or whatever, right? Little clown, right? Little boy with the unnan. I think to myself, I'm like, is it the fame? Because even if you have 20,000 followers, you and I are not Michael Jackson. We're not going to be rich overnight.
You know where my biggest following is? It's in internet cafes in Addis Ababa, Eritrean refugees. I'm gonna get rich off that? Really?
That's what
I'm famous off that. My other one is Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, bro. Like, come on, there's a million ways I could have made money other ways. Like, fame for this is the worst type of fame. Death threats are not cute. They're not fun. You know, they're not glamorous. We don't like to say that stuff for fun. It's like, and we don't get paid. We don't get paid. So like these comments are funny. Like I love when people say things like, "Oh, TPLF is paying them." And my friend Vanessa's always it's like my lights aren't on because TPLF forgot to pay me. Like we just make jokes about it. Like y'all really just your whole identity is dependent on making sure you break people like me down. And so my only job is to make sure I stay on top. Like that was my only job. Like my mom always told me, she's like, if you're gonna do this, Salim, just know that tactics that Higdef use are to isolate you, to discredit you, to you. Like she told me that they're gonna post things all over the internet, lie about me, all this. She's like, are you ready for that? Because if you want to do this, you have to make sure you rise above anywhere you've ever been so that you could shine. Like, I always love coming out. Like, you guys want to hate on me, but my hair is nicer than ever. My skin's nicer than ever. My mind's free. Business. Like, I'm about to open my second. What did I lose out of cutting off Higdef? I gained the world. Like, I met you. I met people like this. That's another thing. Like, one thing I want to tell people who are Higdef, there's this poem my best friend put me on when I was younger. It's by Shel Silverstein, and it's talking about, it's basically talking, I'm going to just try to explain it because I don't remember the words, but it's basically talking about how, like, let's say you're born with a blue face, but every day you paint it, right? You paint it so you look brown, like, or white or whatever, and you're constantly walking around feeling like no one's like you. And then you walk by a person who has a white face, but under it, their skin is actually blue too. So you're both hiding, not realizing who you could really connect with because you're hiding yourself. Because I came out of the political closet, like I like to call it, I made the best friends I've ever made. I don't care if I've known people 20 years. They don't matter to me as much as the friends I've made in the last 3 years. That's for sure, because you know my heart. I don't have to lie about how I feel. I don't have to feel like our friendship is conditional and based on Isas Afriki at that. So these are, yeah, I don't know where I'm even going with this, but the point is, I just feel like it's the most beautiful experience to speak your truth and to, like, be real. Like,
you know, Salam, you know how many friends I've lost since we started this Team Freedom thing? Here's the thing. I've been on Tzar all my life. Kabz Wulad, my whole family has been in Tzar, obviously. Mish يمكن عروقات في كابزي من قديز جمرو معاس من قدي جميرو. Just because I wasn't publicly speaking, my dad was doing it. You know what I mean? My mom was doing it. My sister was doing it. Now I'm doing it. And my kids probably will do it if Isaiah's kids take the thing until they're gone completely. But my point is, zero. They were never my friends to begin with. كما جمرتا اتتمن مساي خوفيلو افتما ادي زخلص قرشة مساي قرشة زخلص زنبرة. Yes, Lone Hafte. I love Lone too. Let me show you guys Lone. Lone is a beast. Lone doesn't get a lot of highlight. Lone is a beast. You guys have to understand. In Europe, Boo's a higher to low, like Helen, Brhane, you know, there's Elsa Churu. There's all these powerful people. But how many friends did I lose? Zero. Because ititemen, itisarai, itikhofilu masai girsha. ab gazai zbalع زنبره كمزيلو يتصنح نرو شام عطي اسايس يدقدق اب قلاي كبل كلخم انت خوينو you're not my friend انا هاد هاني فلت ندنر هاوي قال دغافي نا اسايس كاب قرن فتك انا كانري so don't worry انا هم حاويت تقبيله كامبر اتتمني فلطه كما غيركا خان تمن ريموف تغبرو كسارو قرص وحف كما غيركا خان هدف ريموف تغبرو قرص وحف جين كردا اكالو حجانه حبتي سالم كل عالم ابزيك نسكمكم نخيلنا no problem هايل لنا يردانا اي عين دكمنينا energy for the whole world so hard the same yeah اتيوم دخومات جين surrenders غبرون اسايس ايرون كمز زبلون اسايس الله تريوم ابزي مصيام زدغفو كمز يبلو اسايس غويتا تماريخه وسرني مسها حط صدفه قولو دخون حارد اسايس جيتا مقولعون حرد انست دخون عمص اسايس غويتا هاراي ኤርትራዊ ጥራሕ በለኒ በጃኻ ሰሓት ወዝደለ እስያስ ጎይታ እንድሕር ሰብ ቀቲለ እንድሕር ሰሪቀ እንድሕር ዓሚፀ እንድሕር ድስቲ ማንካ እንድሕር ሰሪቀ እንድሕር ኣዋልድ ተላጊፀለን እንድሕር ማማይ እግሩ ሓሪደ ቆሪፀዮም ኤርትራዊ ዶ ትብለኒ ኣቦይ ጌታዬ ኤርትራዊ ዶ ትብለኒ ተመስግነኒ ዶ ከም ኤርትራዊ ባዕለይ ወዲ ደርጊ ከለኹ أنا ولادي ناتي إثيوبيا درجز نبرة مراحي قال نرو أديها إرترا وحوس واسب علي إريتريان دو تبلني وزودي إزي تاب حنقولهم زرواز اللو مس إسايس إزا ساس إريترياني خا كيت بانديرا هيسكا إريترا بل إسي تحمام إذا تحسبات ريموف قبرو اللو مالتس والله بانديرا إريترا يحز ولا يحز قداس هنا أنا Eritrean أنت إيمو مالت Eritrean. What does that really mean? صار Eritrean خا ومو Eritrean أبعد الله أمريكا له.
Because if they make it more like the way they make it seem, like Higdet especially, it's like they make it sound like they could take your Eritrean card away. If that's the case, it's not really a culture. It's more of like a fraternity. Like you lost your membership kind of thing.
Right.
And that takes away from what we are as a people. We're actually a whole culture, civilization. You know, before we were even a nation state in Africa, we were a civilization. So for you to claim that like people can just have their bloodline erased because you feel like it, that's funny. Honestly, what I think it is that a lot of these people grew up around Eritreans who are like, I don't like the saying like, "Ana Tiriti Eritrean, Ana 100%." Like that stuff, I think it offends the people who are half and they have to lie about it. Because I do hate that people have to lie about being mixed with Ethiopian because they know that Eritreans will hate them. Like that must cause some kind of crazy complex, and so they are victims of that. And I think Isaias went through the same thing. You know, he probably grew up around Eritreans who called him Agame. You know, I don't know. He probably just felt like I'm going to kill these people later. We don't know what this man's alama was from the beginning, but it was not good. And so, yeah.
So no, you're right. So here's the thing. In her mix Cuenca, if you're Eritrean and Tigrayan mix, whatever side you choose, if you want to be Tigrayan, you want to be Eritrean, who cares? We accept you. You're our brother.
You can be both. Right. And you could be both.
Right. You could be Eritrean, you could be Tigrayan. Now, if you're Eritrean and Amhara mix, okay, congratulations. Pick one, or you could be both. When we say Hawaswas, we're talking about the ones that claim Eritrea. Zulu, جن أنصار إريتريا يصرحوا أنا إريترياني بلكا جن الدرجيشة أنا بدحريت أنا إريترياني بلكا كليتنا حواتي جن شتو أنا إريترياني بلكا بعلو خيدو أبي بسألو بدحريت أب فيسبوك السايس أن أبي أبزحي زيلو. Okay, if you worship Abi, then you're telling me you're Ethiopian. So go to Addis and go worship Abi. Quit saying you're Eritrean and you're working Ansar Eritrea. There's nothing wrong with being mixed. Hadisab Abza Alam, 100% pure ahonan. Just so you guys understand. Abza Alam, wala Hadisab, ana 100% Eritrean kabla khulni. Wala Hadisab, ana 100% Saada kabla khulni.
Hana times like
who was colonized, bazi Italian, bazi Turkish, bazi Arab, bazi khulu. Kulana hawaswasina at the end of the day. So meninat wala halwaka, it doesn't matter. What entai mo zinagrakas ha Eritreawiha. Abu Tawalika, you could be Tigrayan born in Eritrea. Who cares? It's just a matter of what you claim. Ana Eritrean kabul koloho Abu Slazi Tawalidku sutrahat photo. In her Amhara nere or Tigrawan nere of Eritrean Tawalid and Eritreanism. You see the difference? There is no ID card that says Nisakha the Herhiji Eritrean خازبل ID card يلا أريني مش ورقة كمان درجيك أرم نرو نهاية الثلاثة عصيفكم أبجبكم تحزنوركم إزي أبزي توليدو جن أبزي إذا حجز إزي أبزي توليدو جن ناي بان ناي هاي الثلاثة يتصاوت إزي هم يجرون يفرمولكم نرم. So what are you talking about? We are one people, one nation, and you can't break that. You can't separate that. As long as you understand this, it doesn't matter. But here's something that our friend Lon Adi said. As many snakes sarati zitafu khabay lugosu sprays gabarkum can they yuruhat subuat uriyat libizalom. I've made a lot of Tigrayan friends. I've made a lot of Eritreawi friends. I've even made Amhara friends that are against Abi. I've made Oromo friends, many. I've already had Oromo friends. I have a big respect for Oromias. You know what I mean? A lot of respect. I have a few friends that are powerful. And there's so many. I mean, so many. Sha'at Biher of Eritrea. I respect them all. Our Muslim brothers. Our Muslim brothers feel a little left out in this situation because everybody's just thinking Tigray, Eritrean, Tigray, Nazara, Tigray, Nazara. I get it. But that's not to say, wala B'day Muslim Eritrea yelan. People have to understand this. You cannot have Eritrea without Muslim. B'day Muslim Eritrea tibhad yelan. You have to understand. You have to accept this. You know why? ناتنا إريتريا بمسلمينا خات تجميرو عود أدرس بدحرين حكيتك. I can go forever but the history. تقراوي تخاني مسلم الله ما تقراي مش كم يجركاس هاجر كتكل تخيل بري مسلم. For example, Eritrea. Are you going to remove the Rashida to have Eritrea? Are you going to remove the Tigray? Are you going to remove the Kunama? And then the lowlanders, highlanders, Bini Amr, how? Their history, their forefathers is all ingrained in Eritrea, in Tigray. Mish, impossible. The only way you can be successful, نتن تشعات بهر حيسكا, حادة مراحينا تن مريسكا, حادة president مريسكا بإريتريا, إتيام تشعات حادة president تمرس, مش election جركا. إتيام تشعات بهر كانه حادة سبي مرسا. تحتيو تي president, constituency ناتهم يزاربون. They get to be the voice for their constituents. إتيام تشعات بهر كانه لعلي سب تمرسه. Congressional members هونو. سوم كا نتحدث سبت حزبي زمرسو نوع هاني information هوس هاني decision كم. It's the only way it can work. فرق وريس كان إريتريا بالتيروريزم بلبغات تتفق بزي لبغات تتفق بزي. Can you imagine in her Eritrea Muslim leader Marisa? Imagine that. Isaist a few Tigray Muslim leader in her Takhilom. Do you think it would be peaceful? You really think it would be peaceful?
I think the Christian population would be upset. Like, I feel like Isaias doesn't have a God. That's the one thing that makes him easy, right? He doesn't care. Like, at the end of the day, don't call him Orthodox. He doesn't even really claim it like that, you know? That's the one thing. He's a communist. Communism is just the country before everything. That's what we were taught. So that's the one thing that I think is, he treats everyone equally bad. That's the point. It's like there's no favorites in the country. And that's, and I think that's a fear that Eritreans are going to have later is like whoever we pick, will they have a favorite based on their tribe, based on their Auraja, based on their religion. These are things that I honestly don't know if people are concerned about this, but I would assume like unless we bridge that gap, unless we're able to make sure everyone's equally represented, because I may get in trouble for this, but like I genuinely think Tigrinya privilege in Eritrea is a problem. Like I think that we're overrepresented. And yes, we are 50% of the population, but there's a other 50% that needs representation. I don't think they are. And so I would love if like what you said, everybody has their own representation and then they can run their areas autonomously if they vote on that or whatever. I just want people to vote. Like you could just decide what you want to do. You guys deserve this, you know? That was the whole point of everything we've ever been through in history. So I don't know if I answered your question.
So to caveat on what our sister said, is the okay, Higdef. Let's talk about Higdef. Higdef Eritrawi, mish? أنا Eritrawi زبل زوعلو. إنحر إسايس وريدو قبل بخا حتت. هذا مسلم حاونا إنحر leadershipنا إريتريا وسيدوا. كوفي الكادو تقبلو. I'm not judging. I'm just asking. إذا حطوتي رئيتو إنحر مسلم حاونا هذا إريتريا ولا بني أمرخون ولا كنامخون ولا تجريخون إنحر تماريسو. نيرتريا مراحيك هون قبل بخادو تقبله. إذا حطوتنا تي مظلومي حواتي خاني. I don't have to ask you this. حتى كم يبلين. Because كندا عامد كوفي لكم مراحينا إريتريا Christian تباهيلو number 1 قتالي. So I'm not going to ask my Christian or my Muslim brothers this because انتهي تغيروا. قال Christian يحمسوا. Call it Christian alone. You know what would be beautiful? You know what would be tsubuk?
One of each.
Hade, Abu, Muslim, Adiu, Christian. That would be beautiful. And then, like me, I'm a Christian Orthodox, Mish. Gin Eid Mubruch, my mentor, Mahmoud Adorobi's bahar. Kuluz Maharani, Baba Tesfai, Buza Hello, Christian Muslim mix. Mish? Okay. Eid Mubruch, Blukhalaho, Jalabia is Paya. Malisa, represent you, Goro. That doesn't make me Muslim, but I respect his religion. Mish? بخبرات ناتو مسلمني زحزو كم زيلا بخبرات حزو كم ناتي يحزو أنا Christian again أتحوي يقرمكي it prayer rug. I'll go get it from different country, out of countries, and I will get it for him. You know why? To show him I have 100% respect for his religion. And kasagir kolo kolom tem kolo shh yiblom get out. This is respect because he respects my Christianity. I respect his Muslim. Mish natu Islam. Na peace respect go bro. Marahina Eritrean Muslim koinu 100% you do gufo. Marahina Eritrea Christian koinu 100% you do gufo. Why? It is his beef. Faqad hibu marisu the majority picks. I just hope his mom and his dad are Christian and Muslim. I know haram abkala, you know, I understand to religion, politics, but can you imagine how beautiful that would be? Because then we can have peace. Mish, to religion at fiha, because that's all we're good for.
Right.
Religion at fina, atina.
Something, yeah. Well, we're gonna find ways.
Oh, zira bu Muslim adu Christian, yeah. Gina hamasini. You. Is he to do kurina na Eritrea zelanas agivams religion basu Mr. religion Mr. Aragani ba aura jahatium. Is he to figure the law? I would daten you natnas yawate. I would daten you.
It doesn't. Man, yeah, you're right.
Well, so Lon Adi said team freedom. I disagree. It doesn't matter. Religion or ethnicity shouldn't be the issue. We should be ruled by the law, not personality. Like Avi Ahmed for Christian. Good for me. Okay, so Lon, we're saying the same thing. We're agreeing, Misahi. I'm just making a point. And but Misahi 100% agree, Gabir. Yeah, doesn't matter what religion.
I think we're just calling out the very obvious divide, and like most Christian Eritreans and Muslim Eritreans don't grow up knowing each other. And it's really sad because we're all literally Bablet Eritrean. So I think it's more so like there is judgment, especially with the generation before us. And so we would love if like that could be squashed. You know, at the end of the day, you're like, I think before religion was like more of a gang thing. It's like but you know, I think our generation understands more that it's more of a spiritual like relationship that you have with God, and that should have nothing to do with your capabilities, job we should give you, any of that. So I think we're all forward thinking here, but unfortunately when we're looking at this country of Eritrea, and when you go into these music videos and stuff, you can look at the comments. People are like, oh yeah, Kap Saraya, she's one of us, she's good, or she's terrible, she's from Saraya. Like we're that small-minded because we're that bored. You know, we have no power over anything else, so we only fight over Auraja, is my understanding of it. So of course, like it shouldn't matter, and it doesn't matter to us, but we would hope that it doesn't matter to everybody. And then we also would hope that we can understand that Muslims have respected Eritrea by not burning it down, because like this man has done them so wrong and they helped fight for independence. And so we're just saying that we hope that if the situation was flipped, that we'd give them the benefit of running things, especially if they were voted on. So I don't know if that.
I know many brilliant Muslim Eritreans. Many that when they talk, they're like professors, like automatic. I don't know if it's because what the religion Islam teaches them, or if they actually just went to school to be professors. But if you ever have a dialogue with the Muslim elder from Eritrea, sit down and have buna and just talk to him. You'll be like, wow. It's almost like a prophet talking to you, Mish. So you're like, man, how do you know all this, Mish? Same with our Shamagale night, Eritrea as a low Christian. Same thing. It's like they're all ordained ministers. Is he in a hanit because I know now you get a 40, 50-year-old Americanized Eritrean. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you look out, you're like this. أبيت ما هير كذا حوي حمسان حمشتن أدمخ كمزيل كات تزارب أبعدنا جين حمسان مش جبره beard grow جرو العالم مهر.
Right. All the way.
سمعوا زمدك أي صاني oh my god مني زيل كات سمع أبز عدز عبية Germany جا no والد كتصاود قال beard جرو ولا beard زي بلون دسته وسوق من خا خمسة تبه أنا كون من أسكاي كمل كا خزارة بالنس أسرع أدميس سخا سوسا what's up man كتب لني كمزيل أزريكا I don't want to hear what's up man 4 5 6 7 حقيركا إريتراوي حكوينكا مهارني قبو خد مهارني خوفك that's why تم عبيت مسلم حواتنا إن حزارة بلو خمزيل أنا سمع I don't disagree جيلا سمع تم هيرة وحيته أبجو بوي جيره الخين شماغلي or إريتراوي or تجراوي or whatever 5 6 7 بس هي مهر على خمزة أزمة سرق أبلي هاد ميلامي the information سرق أزبله خمزيلو سكا research كجبراي. This is why the older generation كابون بوز وحكت مهار دخل سنسرات كابي زمهار. Your forefathers, the older generation. You think my mom? My aunt's always what day? I only made that mistake one time, Kamzile. You know what she said? Oh, يغنى لي معاري. Boom! أبرئ سي. أنت أجرك يا مام. أبلو to Kubaya. Abello to Manka, Abello to Lemin. How do you say plate? But
Biati.
Huh?
Biati.
Abello to Biati. Netia Biati Gerka, Etia Kubaya Gerka, Etia Lemin Gerka, Etia Manka Gerka, Bahote Eid. Naai kam awala hamzika bahanti itebani, hanti gizet hati a mistake gerek. Haba? Teredini. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Easy تفق زلو أدي سلام ما تفعله من أسي هجي عبس باي جزانا مسلو أسريو تبوخ بلعينا خميس كات ما خرمش تيمين وسو مين سوى غير يوم قالوا له من يزعبي يوم أبوم نفع دوكو حما كمان هاي مونتنا خايت أفق كنت سعير لنا من أسي كن مصوم لنا كن مهرم لنا إذا هدف زبها سرعات إساي سرعات زبها تونكلنا تونكالي حماك سيلو ناي هتفتفت راح زمهر ناي سنة سرعات زي مهر أسر تحمش تعيد ما موسيدو مستي يستيوم شجارة يستيوم سيو إريتريا لملام رأيو دلايكم ستيو أب أمريكا أسر تحمش تعيد ستيني غايلو هنقوله ميس آتلو I'll let you speak on that.
Sorry, I muted it. Yeah, I agree. I don't know, like when you even go to like clubs and stuff, it's like you see old people there and they're just like, can I buy you a drink and all this stuff, and they're trying to be this, and it's just a new culture, and I think they think we want that, but I don't want that. I want to go back to the way it was. I want to feel like we have a village the way it was back home. Like we already lost that whole thing. I always talk about how like an idea, I think it's really good for, obviously nothing's good for the mental health in Eritrea, but the idea of just a kansha law where you know, like there's so many people, there's a whole community, there's a whole village to help you get through your struggles and all that. So if anything, I'm looking for that when I talk to the older generation. I'm not looking for what I get from my friends who are my age or younger, you know? Is that what you meant? Like just the
yeah, like we're losing the
yeah, like
the whole point of our culture.
Yeah, like a lot of young kids in the diaspora get Eritrea tatted, you know, like they get a tattoo of it or whatever. But when you play Tigrinya music or the Eritrean song, turn that off. You know, what are you doing? Or like they just want nothing to do with the culture. It's actual like itself. And I think it's because we weren't taught like how to actually keep the culture alive in ways that I don't know, like living in the diaspora is really hard. So like keeping the culture alive while living here is hard, but I think it's just the fact that we don't have people to make it cool, I guess. Like people just because I don't know, like for me, I grew up watching 106 in Park. That was I was like, okay, like we go into Black culture and that's mainly what we focus on, but we don't have that many people like showing people that like this is cool to worry about too. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that yeah.
It makes sense. Continue. So tell me, what do you think about whenever you see? So I know you see. I mean, it's cool to be young now. Whatever, I get it. You know, earrings and braids, whatever. It's cool. But what people don't normally discuss is the hardships of the Eritrean youth and the Habesha youth, what they face. You'll be surprised, can the Habesha kids are on drugs, homeless, mental issues. Nobody ever discusses this. You feel me? Go ahead.
No, that's true. It just there
Do
like
you do you actually see in the Bay Area or Oakland or wherever a lot of Eritrean kids that are on drugs, that are homeless? Do you actually see this?
I don't really see anything but that. Like and that doesn't even like that goes back to when I look back at my childhood, every event I went to since I was a kid, my uncles were drunk. Everybody's drunk. Everything was alcoholic. Everything was like alcohol needed to be there. So I've always been around people who are constantly intoxicated, realizing that's the culture we come from. My uncles used to like I thought they were just being fun, like, oh, you know, like they're just super hyper, but come to find out they were drunk out of their minds. And I think that's a real issue in our community as well as like definitely affected our generation. And I think like for example, like you know, my brother's an amazing kid in the Bay Area. Everybody knows of him. He's in school for to be a pharmacist and everything, but there aren't that many kids like him who went to school route. Not saying that school is
Go ahead. Sorry.
not saying school is the only way, but like most kids here don't even believe in school. Most kids are just like, I'm gonna make money uh selling drugs. Like that's a big thing. And I think we just normalized it, but like I hate when people talk about, oh, like it's a lamb to comes in it's a lamb to comes in like
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and because we all just keep it hidden, everybody's suffering alone. Everybody lies to each other. Like your mom could hate your guts when it's just you two, but when she's around her friend, Gwale comes in there, Gwale comes yeah, comes in there, and so everyone's lying to each other, and so everyone ends up having to suffer alone. And so yeah, that's actually that's my biggest goal is to speak on things that we go through in the diaspora, coming from like parents who came from a completely different world, especially from war. Um, but yeah, so yes, the answer is yes. A lot of
That's
people.
sad. So I'm gonna try to share the screen of our video. Tell me if you can see it because I'm gonna go into a different page. Um, I know everybody's seen this on Facebook already. All right, tell me if you can see it. All right. Hey, Captain, have you ever heard the Tigrinya word "mahilal"? Exactly. There have been numerous times in history where change comes from people coming together to pray for a miracle during times of tragedy. እሞ እንታይ ክንገብር ይመስለኪ ቲም ፍሪደም ኣብ ኩሉ ዓለም ዘሎ ብሓንሳብ ክንጸሊ ብዛዕባ ዋና ኤርትራን ትግራይ ዝጭፍጨፉ ዘሎ. That's a great idea. Team Freedom will host a prayer march worldwide in places such as Australia, South Africa, Europe, the Washington, D.C. area, and in the West Coast in Oakland, California on May 23rd for people of all faiths. ما خلاص حواتنا تسبتفوا مسانا نعملاق. Bring your positive energy to a peace rally for Eritrean Independence Day. Find a flyer for a rally nearest you. Why? Salam Habte. Hayla. Kula alam misana khasli. Naiba haki. That was good, Mish. That was good. I
Yeah,
liked it.
I'm doing fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, that was good.
It took
I
like
liked
3
it.
hours.
Huh?
It took like 3 hours to make.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm in the mood right now.
that was really good. I thought. Abzi, I don't know what's that noise playing right now. Okay, let me figure this out. Oh, is it
I need to get ice cream. Let's go.
oh the next video?
Oh.
All right. So it's Salama selfie that's coming or whatever. That's on my page. If you go to Captain Eritrea, um, no, Captain Eritrea page, and I think Salam is on your page as well, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we made a short video. You guys gotta share that. The Bay Area, there's gonna be a prayer march. Gin is gonna be over, not just the Bay Area. Bay Area of Oakland can go at the same time. Gin on the 23rd is gonna be in DC, Europe. We're gonna put the flyers out. So thank you for those saying that we did great. We appreciate the support. With that, to end the show, we're almost at an hour 55, right? So we're going to end the show. We got more coming. There's a lot of things coming tomorrow. Halo. There's, I think, with Emmanuel from Asena. There's a lot of things coming. So just be, stay tuned. Before you guys leave, I want to ask one thing. Go ahead and share. There's about 100 of you. Share one time. You guys saw my YouTube, but YouTube Atelahon, but Facebook Atelahon. If you're not part of my YouTube, we're trying to grow our YouTube, Captain Eritrea YouTube, the same way spelled, CAPTN Eritrea at YouTube. And then you can find Salam in there. She'll be logging on to do shows there too. Any last words, Salam?
No, thank you so much for coming to hear us, and thank you for having me today. This was kind of random. I didn't know we were doing this, but I like it. Thank you.
Always last minute. So we had T.R.A.P. We're going live. What? T.R.A.P. We're going live. Thank you, Mimi. T.R.A.P. hafte. We're going live. زي prayer نقبل زلانا جينت يوم يحواتنا شوف زلو زموتو زلو يحواتنا شجر خيبم زلو Eritrean Tigray. Only thing we can do is pray for them. Unless, what else can we do? Mish, that's not a lot to ask. So with that said, please show up and do your part. We're going to have more topics, sexual assault, victims, mental issues. Tune in. Myself and my spokeslady for Team Freedom, Salam. We have young Nufat inspirational kids. Matyam, Zarabu, Kumhuru, Dokuhum and Halokum. Abzi Vishonatna, and it's Arafnina, Kasai Nagabarina, Business Ratina Nazarab. Comes on to Holo, Kurina Holo. And it guess Kadim Kolahum. Grow me, hey, Business Ratina Te show, so Bajahum, Business Rat Nizar. Two last things, Kai Hawate. Thank you for subscribing, Lulu. Haftana Adu Blena Buzuh. I was gonna do a show on separately. There's a meet here, Allahum Abzi. So instead of just asking who, what, when, where, why, you're Dakumi to Riwa on Hayalea. Up to page Nate, there's a petition. Petition Jamira Loho. Go sign the petition. Pass Atahalalafo, sign Gabaru. Is young bully Gobrualo. Everybody's not kum opinion Kazara Baholu. The one has be. You're entitled to your opinion. She could say, Ane a Mars can afford. Who cares? That's her opinion. Obviously, 500,000 people like it. Mish.
She didn't make herself famous. We did that. You gave her your attention, and I don't know. She's been
50 million people. You some Hawaiian. This is not a joke. 500,000, 300,000, 200. Zahamat 150,000. Easy. So 300,000 people in her some Hawaiian. And Tashigira los can digify. But I said guts can get you but you blow Bakhara Gera can quartz akina. Duck can Gamza Goromina. Comes a sugar hibala. أنا زبز الله إند حر ولا فتوى ولا صلايا أدو بلنا حفتنا Eritrean حفتنا تقاروها هم حفتهم يمزريوا. It doesn't matter in تايلا أدم تايلا حجي يرد أكومي حيالا بعلا كن حاجز كا sometimes سبيد ليو. So as you would do law, I don't even want to give him no attention. Gin صرفا وعيل بعلو أنا مسلم قال يبل that's okay brother. كنزاي تودي كنزاي زخون كنزاي عمتي ريز بحال
Oh my, yeah, oh my.
you will come like lady. I don't know this guy. You will I know you and I just want to go pick mish pick ginity. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. So how and I he's mad or whatever Adu did to make him mad. That's okay. Can these doilu hafte and tahon ki khamzitivli lizibla Eritrea yubahalu gina gabarin. عسرت الشح كفيلة كهاسة عسرت الشح كفيلة كتلوة عسرت نحفت خاص عسرت الشح كفيل كاس كتحردا كتقتلا عسر أبجزه قدش أبوه جن هواي عسرت الشح أكيبكا نتم رفيجيز بإريتريا زي تحجزهم هواي عسرت الشح همسة الشح أكلات قريس كم ناي أدوام تسولي تبزلها زي تدحن سبكا.
If nothing else, to me, it's like even if you disagree with everything she says, and just because we're saying this doesn't mean we agree with everything she says. She's just a human being who has the right to say what she wants in a free country. What you should fight against, if nothing else, even if you hate her, is you don't want to turn the rest of the world into Eritrea. We're not there for a reason. Why are you guys okay with people policing each other when we ran away from that? You like that's it. Like just the civil, like just having that right to say what you want, like give people that. Stop threatening people's life for having a different opinion than you. We're not a monolith. If you don't know, that means like we're not all one. We're not all the same. We're all very different. And I feel like most people, and when you're from the culture and you don't feel like you fit in, they end up disappearing, and because they know they can't fit in and they know they're going to be treated so badly. That's not what we want for our generation. We want people to know you're going to be loved unconditionally for whoever you are, even if you change your mind, even if you contradict yourself, like Noah was saying earlier. That's called development. Even if she was speaking something that's completely contradictory to what she's saying now, it's called growth. Like, please just like, again, you could hate her to death, still support her, because this is not, we're not trying to have a dictatorship by other Eritreans living in the diaspora. It's just,
yeah. And then sadly, Khani Garmokum, anytime anybody's ever had a GoFundMe, I remember one time, she needed help or whatever. Adu blena shak arshi ba'ala hagizata. But when Adu needs help, where's everybody at? 500,000 people, turiwalahum, 500,000 people. You love her to blue, 500,000 solowa, 500,000 fotuwa. There's a lot of people khuriwaz wa'lu. Haya, obviously haya. My question is, sub hagazm could liyokholo tasya shah tasaddid. Comes into iti Lampedusa azmotu awatsiya tazariba. What about when she needs help? Abalot to his B. So I'm asking you, what's ikhum it a petition sign gabaruo nazium higdafawi can khatatolum can tahzum bahagi. Secondly, khani GoFundMe hahare tazaribna harai can hagiz yilama low to GoFundMe khani in the tajamiru israrshi hamsarshi whatever kulatkum hagizwa دحريو من البات كاب غزانا غزات خيدلا كاب هدف بزي مصو بزي whatever the situation is, it doesn't even matter. شجرنا حفتنا لوا نحجزها بخوم جرنا خن حجزاينا. So in the head to GoFundMe وتقاني a page ناتي share كجبره I'm كله to social media na ado directly ناتا account بعلا تتخاطى تولو تسلدي بعلا تريو تسلدي بعلو خامسة أب account ناتا خالص سوك حزلا ولا حنتي ولا $1 million توص هافتان كمان تقول who cares. أنا خمت زريو اندحر حمشت 100 الشح سب 100 قرشين عسدي دملا هابتي ما مالتي مش okay but who cares. أنا خمت زريو حريتو ناتي حقي سلخو إرتراوي مليونير رخيبا لخو half-day millionaire ኮይና قومي أنا زحجز أنا يتسألني I don't care ولا half-day حجي أبزلا مساي 1 million donate تقبروا لا Eritrean millionaire سرحنا. Can you imagine if each Eritrean picked one person and we all donated 100 قرشي حمشت 100 Eritreans 100 قرشي نهار السبت her just because he بنايو overnight millionaire مش اتساب جين حنقول نحلو كابتا أصل دي وسيدو نتي أم refugees كحجز خل easy جين قومين سرحنا نحنا why نسالم كحجز أي رأي الرئيسات صبغني تقوني ناس أنا ميت قرشي غابة داويت رأي خانة تيراناتو you don't know ناتي شجر you don't know her شجر we could be homeless صباح we could be homeless جينا بتيفي هو you don't know تشجر هيتفوتوني خا so what I'm saying is نحنا كنت حاجز علنا بحنساب إتي حزبي بوزحكم ولا تجراين حاوي سكايم حجي 1 million can you imagine نسالم هفتي 1 اسرع شيء ايش $3 يبلوكم ولا يدلي ادليان هرايتو million people تسيوم اسرع شيء سدلكي كنديالكي overnight تخاني بسرحي Eritrean refugees تجراين genocide victims يلكي بلعت سدي this simple كندي but trust لزيبنا أنا قرشي هبانة أنا فتوانة زي غاز يعني ذاتك زي أوراجع زي مسلم.
People are jealous of you doing better than them in our community. It's like I feel like people just don't want to give you the resources to do better than them, or if they feel like you're a threat. Like that lady is for sure a threat. She lives her life freely, and a lot of women are jealous of that. And I don't know. So like there's people in the comments saying like, oh, I won't support her. She's this, she's that. Like. So you're cool with people saying they're gonna cut your leg off? Like you guys are acting like she did something worth that. Like so.
Like this guy, this Yodit Tesfamarim, he's saying Arhanet is sick. She's a big liar. Now for money, check this out. No how way. السخاء تحسوا زلها. تيتي السخومكم تحسوا زلو. بعيننا بإذننا. We don't need you to tell us الساعة تحسوا لا. بعيننا تودي خزارة كله كحيلة خمزي. كمزي جيري كزارب كله نسوم علنا ولا نحسب زي الآخر كقتلوا كحردوا إتو زبلو زلو بعفو بعلنا نسوم علنا حساوي خمزي كتبلنا يدخلونكم بعلنا كنسوم علنا تودي من يشمو من تتعرف زلو I forgot his name anyway تودي Hamed or whatever his name is تنيش تودي مش the little guy the one bunad سرح قربتي أبزي like قربتي like looks like a little lady the little guy مش ويزبل كزارب كلوس قتلكيه كحردكيه أسرت الشح يلا أسرت الشك في الناقن قتل لا إنه كله خمزين سمعوا come on I'm sorry yo did if you're agreeing with me I apologize then I'm with you جين بعلنا كأنا نسمعوا زلنا وهم يركاس تحسوا لا تبلو حال له حجي تحسوا لا يبرالو no نسمعوا لنا بعلنا نحن خمت نسمعوا إنا نأمنوا نحن أب هاسبرخان رئالنا حفتنا أزياء منتهى هو كوفي ليلة حفتين ده حمامت كوف جذبل بعلي إرتراوي بها كمان it's not gonna happen أنا زخوني كم قلق جرنا إنا نحجزها go ahead.
That's something I hate about our culture. I've always said this since I was young is like we show out for hazans, but while you're struggling, nothing. You don't get nothing. Like it's like what about life? Only death matters. You only respect people in death. Like yeah. I really I don't know. I feel like she helps so many people. Like I used to watch videos when I first started like learning about everything where she'd actually take phone calls from people in refugee camps. Do you know how draining that is? Like people really act like this is a way to get fame. This is the worst way to get fame. You know, anyone who does this is literally just to try to heal somebody, to try to like hopefully help someone out there. We don't even need to know if we're helping. It's just like, hopefully this is helping someone. And someone earlier said something like, oh, she got famous by bringing up sensitive topics such as like she said
doesn't matter.
And
So
you know, maybe our generation needs somebody like that to make us feel like, oh, you know, like I'm not gonna lie, like there are some things that I used to watch and I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know that we're allowed to speak our mind. If nothing else, like whether you agree with what she's saying or not, it's just the freedom that she's showing us, that we can like live our truth. I don't see how anybody can have a problem with that. But
well, this guy, I do Tekla Hamaino to whatever. I think he's in Seattle. I'm not sure. This guy is the one that posts all the Higdef Dergi Bandera Hizom Itia Bidhrezala Escaping Eritrea PBS shows or what's what?
they both
Not to group is what as Blos Kwalayu. Not to group.
right.
That's him. He's the one Abu Musum. Wait, say no, take down the video for escaping.
Scapegoating Eritrea.
What is it? Stop demonizing Eritrea.
Scapegoating Eritrea.
Scapegoating Eritrea. Z Adu Takhlamanet. Let me tell you something about my sweetheart Adu over here. What about her, Mr. Luronal? Let me tell you about him. So Haram Ati of Las Vegas, Higdef party ghetto. تدخلوا to room Eritrea bandera نرمش أنا خانت فيديو ريايو قريمني تايزين تايمز يوم انسسايل ريوم نرمش نايس ساي سافوركي سيل خمزيلو تيانا نستي
It's just like that. You got it right.
يبلا نرمي دهريو أنا كع إلى تحت سحيك أمش and then times يوم and then I realized is يوم Hangolio Boloman. And then Kulom Kani homeless, homeless caps irga Zumase, I start how much Isra in room. Gin size Hanti Mazia Hamzin Nabelet Tulo Naramish up to page not out. Ayo is he Adu Teklo, whatever his name is, Teklo Haimanet. He's the one that shared the video, Mish. Met you at page nothing.
Harry shines at 30, of course, those people. Yeah.
Yeah. Met you at page nothing. You know what he said?
Huh.
I went in his page, Miss.
Right.
YPFDJ, PFDJ, Higdef, Abi, Isaias, Amlache. Netom Manase, certificate Yuvum, Kahumu'um. Netom Manase, 15, 7, 11. Poison Gobram. Abzimot Ibalochat, page not at Hotkus. What did Dergi Masel?
Right.
What did Dergi Baalun Namaselas? Look at him. Look at him. This guy looks Eritrean to you? No, man. This guy looks, I don't know what this guy is. Gin, Kindisina Sarat Hizu. So he looks every day he's obsessed with Captain. I can show you. Captain, Captain Agame, Captain. Sma Hawaii. Ane? Sabeti as fotu. I'm sorry, bro. Ane Sabeti as umuro. Sab I fotune. I tahazale. Christian بعلي سنة سرعات جرى إزخيد نعم لخيز السجد. You should not be obsessed with me, bro. You gotta go somewhere else. I'm sorry. Block gabraka deline gin. Milkit yabelain. You understand? I'm sorry. Harago. Kuruk atskika. Keep dergi dagif. Keep ho. Keep science. Keep. Ab America mas hagen I tilaflif. هجدافها هجدافاوي فرح بدبادي بعلو عاتيكو نتيريا فاك على سني أبزيجين فيسبوك ماتيو أدو خمسين راح يمزبلون بر هجداف صراحة زيو بالسمت راح منعسي قبل عضو علمر قال انتاي مو انتاي خدا إذا سبايس انتاي قبلنا حجي أسرع هجدافاوي قلعو صريحو حجي قالو واتقام قالو إيري بلاد زبهالو كم تحابي أمس رينا يوم مليشيا عسرت خطة ودتات إيري بلاد يمهرون مالون أي وتحدر مش let me tell you something.
Wait, Adu's mad. He said you're a big liar.
The hands are half days below how is it? So let me tell you about the Erie blood. Let me tell you about the Erie blood.
Right.
They think for 1 second. This is coming from a وتحدر مش jeans maliska shirt Erie blood zibel قاعد صحابة ودتات حيسكا كمزيل كاب to soccer field is he Boy Scouts you. This is Boy Scouts, Eddie Blood. This is Boy Scouts. You think soldier komina nigabir? You think soldier jeans melise rogir habit abzi up to soccer field hare zekh al wadig. Let me tell you, it is muharam zinavara khamay masnur. To oninu kamzilu matsi muharam naru. Kamzilu.
Yeah.
Kamzilu. You muharam kamzilu. Kamzilus na watader tactic muharam naru up to soccer field. Ana ha gari minis isakhas. وتهدر كد مهرم يا خمسة جركة خمسة ريو. So listen up, listen. Let me tell you something. يا حواتي إن حسراويت وتهدر إن حكت كون دليخة. كم زيز قبروز اللو. أي خوانن. أبتي نايسب أي سرح here. سب أي Hijizi, the girl from Seattle told you whatever he's saying. Somebody tried to defame me. Mashak. Everybody knows children alani. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. Nice sab aisrah is gabber. In her soldier khon dalu hak inagar. Nice soldier sarah misgabere. Ab meret bi idu bu ugru how do you say rope? Gamad begamad ndala alay. بهليكوبتر بخول يو وتهدر زسرح سيلكا كيح امين سليم شرط اري بلاد زبل عسر تخطى يودوغا تقونينوم كوتي شاب كلتا جيروم ازي ام دا متسي خمس جيرو بحانتي ترع يوبلوم انت حقوا ياس كمان كحزق if I ran they can't even catch me نابلو اري بلاد تبهلو هيك دفاوي ولا حانتي ساكت جرفو كنمهروكم نحدا لكم ناتسنت اريتريان نحدا لكم تحقاقيزنا سراوي كنسرح نقل. Other than that, you're wasting your time. You want to go play soccer in the field. You're not a soldier. You're a Boy Scout to the block. Go ahead.
No, this is very funny. Like these people, yeah. Like who, and now he's saying, give me a chance to talk. Like, who goes? I just couldn't imagine going out of my way to go into someone's live and then comment like, "What? Like you? No, losing a chance to talk. You don't get a chance to."
Killing me, Captain. You killing me, Captain. Yeah. Okay. I wish that picture, Nera. Ricardo.
No, anything.
Go ahead, talk. I'm gonna find it.
I don't know, but that one time out of mall like
the Eddie Blood.
Oh, we the most cool. Noah posted it the other day. I was dying. He was yeah, these people really are okay with our children.
اليوم Eddie Blood.
Them.
رأيوا ممهرناتهم. رأيوا لهم ممهرناتهم.
And he hashtagged Erie Blood. Oh my god, I'm just dying. Hashtagged it. Oh my god.
Hands up, كرياكم يا زين Boy Scouts. Is يوم Erie Blood. تريالله Erie Blood حفتي.
Oh my god, like I don't know.
حسب حسابه له حجي. إذا يوم حجي عاتكم نأبي خدقوا فيهم.
Yeah.
إذا يوم عسرت حمشت or I don't know عسرت ودتات كبدهم بزي وتشي تقانينو خمزيلو أري بلاد تباهيلهم هدف دونك أورينا دونك أورو غيروهم خمزيلو كويت ودي.
I'm so confused. Like, why would they embarrass themselves like this?
Publicly. Is it to هدف دونك أورينا? Is it you? كانت ترى تسألي first of all كانت ترى تسألي ما تصحي مش first of all. تصحي بيمي لخلص تسألي كانت ترى كأيه أري بلاد مش jeans كأني jeans after مرت كت فحر كتساوت jeans مالي سلو.
I'm gonna start claiming it just to make them mad.
It's my
Erie Blood. I'm gonna put it in all my
houses. It's my natum kani.
That's it. Exactly.
Listen up, soldiers.
No. This is officially.
Yo. Khamzina nagabir.
Everywhere.
Look, I can hear it now. It's coming. I guarantee Khamzina. Listen up, yo, soldiers. We're gonna train like Sawa train. We're gonna go and support Abiy Ahmed, Isaias Afwerki, our God, so we can go defeat Tigrayans and we will unify Ethiopia with Eritrea. Are you with me? Eri blood.
I
Is he Eritrawi? Is he Ome Men Ase? Kam Zigerum, Hangolum to Sankilum. Is he Omium? Is he Omium? Hawate, future Natna. Is he Omium to Zarachum? Is it Adu Techlahamana to Udukat Zumurum Zolo?
no,
Is he Omium?
is the Onka, you know who else they are? The November when there was like, or December when there was issues. These were the same people talking about, don't mess with Eritrea. We're gonna get you. Who is we? Who is we, sir? You mean the 15-year-olds back home that you're fine with letting them fight your battle? You guys want to fight? Go back home. Go back. Fight for your man, Abiy. Okay, like go. Why are y'all bothering us? You really want us to be the little terrorists out here? Like, first of all, I don't know. Especially because I actually know Eritrean real gangbangers, so this is just hilarious. Like, at least be some real gangbangers. At least.
Well, and then you're gonna name your organization.
Eri blood. You stole blood. Like.
Not call organizations. Sarawik na Eritrea to kill Allah. Mish. Let's have America, Sudan, wherever you are, Canada, wherever they are. Mish. تقولينهم. إحنا قاصينا Eritrea خنجمرينا. You know, حلمي easy. Mish. Nobody's going to fight no real wars. أنا يجيب لكم الله عسران 4 عامة وتهدري كم زود ولا بكلا عدي وتهدر تايلاندكم صبوتاتهم إذا يوم جين نجريك نسمعوس أجيبهمس بهنسيس نعدنا خك على سمسلكم and then شموم كأني دمنا إريتريا حزبنا دمنا فسسس دمنا إريتريا تبال and I'm sure look just so everybody's clear. I'm sure they're young, and I love them. I know, however, their brain is poisoned with this Tekla Mahanat, whatever, dude. I do omni. Gin, I'm sure one day we're going to see each other. I'm sure. And just so you know, I'm also about that life. So all I'm saying is, Gin فرحية أخوكم بحيلي بpride reassurance يا زلمة أكاد الله. I'm just as deadly as any other human in the world. Why wouldn't I be? I'm a retired soldier. I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to be tough. I'm not trying to claim Eddie blood. I'm just telling you it's deeper than that. It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Soccer fields, jeans, and a t-shirt going like this does not make you a soldier. Boy Scouts are tougher than you Lakallo. That's all I'm telling you. And then I got people here because I'm joking. Be an adult. Rakeb Gashau. Look at the name. Rakeb Rewazishim.
Oh, I'm not even gonna say. That's fine. Okay.
Is that true? First of all, there's no picture, so you know it's a fake account. Second of all, Rakeb Gashau.
It's like
Kabe
Abiy supporter.
Kabe easy. Kabe Eritrea, do you?
Oh, I love what this is the second one. Please, you guys are full sheets. You know nothing. I love it.
Oh, please, you guys. All heck, that's how we look. Sheets.
Right. This is it's just like.
I know trolls. You know what? This kind of makes my night though, because these people they make me strong. Like I do techlo whatever. I don't know you, bro. I don't want to know you. I don't care to know you. It costs you nothing to leave.
Right.
Me? I don't want to call you names. I don't want to call you nothing. And the Eritrean kwanka Hawaii again. If you think for 1 second, you're gonna threaten me and I'm not gonna say nothing, I will directly address you, my brother. In fact, I will meet you. I'm not afraid. That's what you got to understand. So why do you want it? Just roll. It's just that simple. You could do your research. You could find out where I'm from. Of Seattle. They try to call me gay. Kamzi, Hasod, Kamzi, Watadar, I never, blah, blah, blah. You know, now hit the propaganda bullcrap, mish. But at the end of the day, bro, I know who I am. Manim sabay farahne. What did Shambal Bashas? Let's honko. I know where you stay. I know where you live. I know where you do your YPFDJ program, but I don't care. I don't care. Rakib Gasha, whatever your name is. So اليوم حزب زريزة لو كنسحق أكمنا نفتن لنا right number but Eddie Blood كومنتات we're not taking them serious كسحق أكمنا خيرنا whole number I want to annoy Rakib Gashaw BMFT is he das nas كنري أكمنا دلنا إتي كما إمز حسبو just so you see كما إتي تحساب ناتهم many زي مهور كرداكم Eddie Blood come on bro like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. You must have looked I like this. I like this.
That one killed me.
Take care. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Abzi, if you guys have any questions before we roll, we're just having fun. We leave it open mic. Whoever wants to speak. We're already late, so we'll give you guys 15 minutes. Open mic or whatever, right? And we'll answer any question you have.
Right.
What is so funny? Look.
We're just laughing. We just want to laugh.
No, what's funny is we're laughing at you. Rakib Gurshu or Gersha or whatever. Mishaki for real. Intimidation. Yep, that's in that 100%. Again, in the حساب زي فرحة عني تحطي تأمني يتحطوا. To think very well, you have to have a brain. Absolutely. Higdef is evil. I agree. No questions. All right. Rakib Aitahazilan. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but Rakib Gashao, welcome to Team Freedom. Thank you for letting us have fun with you. I don't know. You just showed up. So if you would have stayed earlier, you would have understood what the show is about. I don't think Higdef is human beings. I think Higdef is brainwashed individuals, enslaved mental. They just you got makai. Sabdamotes celebrate you go, bro. Have men his business? I don't know.
I was gonna say that earlier, actually, before Noah left. We were talking about this, and they were basically saying like TPLF is killing Eritreans and stuff, and then I just want to know why no one, like, because when we watch Escaping Eritrea, right, like the part that really broke my heart was like when Thomas, the kid in the beginning, was talking about like, yeah, we knew there were ways to be bombed, but we were more worried about Eritrean soldiers. Like their only threat is a shoot to kill policy. Why don't y'all like have a problem with the shoot to kill policy? You know, that is a huge problem already. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm just over here trying to speak logic to people who can't, but
you see what he asked me?
Yes, and sir, we're not going to even, why dignify this with a response? You're saying Eritrea shines at 30. Like, where does it shine? What is coming from Eritrea?
Well, no, his question is, this is his question. Why do you think you're smarter than me? This is a great question, Abdul Hawaii.
I think he thinks you're smarter than him.
No, this is a great question. Is that excellent? Let me break it down for you. Systematically. How do you want it? Chronologically, okay, I'll break it all down for you. Simple. In fact, I'm not even going to take it. The terminology, I'm not even going to use an advanced terminology. I'm going to utilize Barney level, Teletubby. The difference between you, Adu, and Captain Eritrea. The world says a person who took a country by force and not election is a dictator. This is not Dawit. This is not my sister. The world, the entire world. This is the definition of a dictator. Okay, there's many people listening right now. Who thinks he's smart? YPF DJ trainer. If the world collectively says Mish, that a dictator. What is the definition of a dictator? Okay, definition allo. Bahali's wasado election yelang but eat sem daqatele. Dawit reads this and I say, dictator is very, very bad. I shall not support it. You will miss? Adu says, what is the definition of a dictator? Sabqatali, b'day election, highly wasadi, kulu sab zahar zikatil, sarak, kudu gufa'etibel. Izi izifalena. Ana ambibe, yuriddaani. Isakhan bibka, ayriddaakan. Arba'atanat bi. Let's go to the second point. What is the difference between Adu and Captain? Let me tell you. Dawi, Captain Eritrea, his be Eritrea, damote, da asere, datame, kam galas ma'ani. ما بس انك من يزخل حمام دك عدي زرخبو زخلوا شجر دك عدي زرخبو بس انك منيو داوي تحسب مني زمرحان اريتريا اخا اسا فوركي زخلوا شجر امتيلو من دك عدي كومي داوي تحسب سخا عدوخ تحسب كلها يحواتي موتلو يحواتي تأميلو حفتي تعمت الله بسانكي من بسانكي إسايس you do go fortable. Third point, Eritrea 2021 ما يبلان كبكله no running water toilet يبلان أبي أمز خدو electricity appropriated لتشي تمرتي university أخليخ ما سيئنهم نتي general حلفي captain colonel نتي كنديناتهم farmland زي ما عايشوا نابو صدوهم نعوم نتي كتعومهم نتي general attack مش داوي تزخر الدخلو بسانك منيو منجست إريتريا موز شجرام تسيلهم زي محواتي أب إريتريا زلو صحاح تبل هو يموتوا ولا يبلعوا as long as I have America خوفي له كبدين دارو قدي تيفي دار أخو that's أجابكم يحواتي يموتوا تبلا. This is why I don't think I'm smarter than you, Howie. I don't think so. I know I'm smarter than you. And the sad thing about it, Adu Takla, whatever your name is, it doesn't have to be someone my age to know this. She's 27. She's 27. She's smarter than you. My little nephew, who's 15, is smarter than you. I don't care if you have a PhD. I don't care if you have a doctorate. I don't care if you're a taxi driver. You, my friend, you are what we call zombie of Messiahs. Messiah, Saabuni, okay. So you can't, this is not a fair question. We're not equals, bro. There's levels to this. Sahabzillaha and Habzillahu. Bahangol malati. I'm not even talking about education. I'm just talking about common sense. You want to fill in on that?
No, I think there's something called emotional intelligence, and you're lucky that, like, I guess it's crazy because I just thought everyone had some kind of empathy, some kind of sympathy, some kind of understanding, especially if you've been through it. I think there's two types of people in this world. You either, like, when, like, for example, if you've been bullied as a kid, you're either going to want to bully someone else because you feel like everyone else deserves to feel the pain you felt, or you're going to make sure you never inflict that kind of pain and try to stop it in any situation you can because you know what it feels like and you've been there and you never want anyone to experience it. So that's what I think, to me, that's when I know who's smart and who's not. Like, if you're like, oh, I would never want that, but oh yeah, they can have it. I don't care. Like, I don't care what they're going through. Who cares how many degrees you have? Who cares what you have? Like, you lost your soul. That's how I see it.
So he says, okay, we heard you, but in democracy, it shouldn't be your voice only. Okay, so I sat for 30 years and I waited for your voice. What did your voice benefit me? So sa'amet kofi la hawe. Mish, so sa'amet kofi le. Admei sahonen. Adday, so sa'amet kofi la. Entai lot yamtsiha. Zikha, itishigger Eritrea tirakhbaz nabaret. Nanda gafka nda ta'ubyonerka. Ana mas'aha khofru sa'i. So it doesn't matter what you say. What are you going to say? I wasn't born in Eritrea. I was born in Eritrea. Ab Eritrea, ab Asmara Tolide. Abzi abi khamaha تماهيركا هاديمكا هارامي مسيخا بزي مونتاي لوطي امسيخا خوفيلكا والله هانتي when I كتوادر I هوني I wouldn't even give you a platform because I know you're a higged up zombie. The only question I gotta ask you is انتاي لوطي امسيخا والله هانتي the only لوطي اسخازم صخا YPFDJ من اسي poison سمين ندبلع خايم عبي خايم جانن سالم كان فحر لنا خن عريم سطرحه. You and I have nothing else to speak on. So you, sir, don't give the day. I'd give the day, Ziblaka, are dismissed. And I have to dismiss you. Iti brain cells natin nidharit ka khayid. Iti tinfasil al-sira zalo. I have to dismiss you. I'm sorry.
I think it's funny, like, people love to claim that, like, us who would just have little followings on social media are dictators for not letting letting them have their voice. I'm just a person on social media. Go talk to your dictator. Go tell him that he's a dictator. Why is it that you love to use the word when it comes to just people on social media? Like, you don't let me speak. Like, he's basically saying that you should allow me to speak my mind, to say my part, because in a democracy, that's how it works. And I have the right to say that. Like, oh, you deserve that right, but like when we say that your brothers and sisters back home deserve it, it's all of a sudden it's a different language. I don't know.
No, you're right. He's been I watch this guy on his, if you watch his Facebook and all that, he's been training hig deaf youth for a long time. YPFDJ. How many years did he have to be the voice?
A long time.
I've only been public for 6 months. 6 months. ما تقول قرص أبلغ حب أكل علاماتي حب يبلغ مالهم. Is that my fault? كوفي لا يريكم نره يحواتي موتلو. تمرتخي كله يحواتي موتنرو. وتهذا كله يحواتي موتنرو. أنا خاتسي حجي يا أخلني لي. حجي هانا عايك تسكت أني. That's not how life works, my brother. I'm sorry. قومي خون. يمسجنك. I hope أملاخ. يدحنك. How do you say it? I hope Amlach Yerhinakadi?
Yeah.
Yemaskinaka? I don't know. I don't wish nothing evil on this man.
Right.
But I just wish he would wake up and smell the coffee. I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to die. How are you at the end of the day? You're just lost. His bikhanatahasib ab zero atikhalaha. So there's nothing you could do for this conversation. I know he just wants attention, but that's okay. I'll give him attention. The next step would be to make him famous, but why? I'm just trying to teach our brother because of Hangolus come of Isaias of Hangola Ati Khomzilu Zurolo. Isaias is taking the wheel. It's all Tululo. Zahilu, Eritrean Natu Pro Gabri. Jigarmakigin, Tamahiro of Asmaras, I think Lali Netbi or something. You know how when they catch good grades, they move them out? Kawad Haramai Tamalasan. So I know, but book he might be smart, but common sense, zero. So next topic. Well, you know, we should probably end it. We're like at 2 hours and 37 minutes. All right, Salam Hafte. I appreciate you coming, supporting me, but I want to show you one last thing.
Oh, yep. You guys don't get it. This is my new thing. Eri Bloods. I'm officially a member. I need to know who these people are. Like,
Eddie Blood.
Wonder what their sign is.
Oh my God, Eddie Boy Scouts, which I want to say thank you for watching us. I want to say thank you for supporting us. We love you guys. We had fun with you. Be on the lookout for the GoFundMe for this is our job. We have to help our sister. We're going to try. With that said, we love you guys. We pray for you. Don't worry. Nagram is a Sarai, Adina said it was a low quaridio. Dokuha Hazwania. We're going to make sure that I'm going to say. Go ahead, Salam.
That's not happening. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, that's my only goal. I'm willing to die for any of this, just as long as the end goal is to get rid of the T.R.A.P and like people could just live freely in a country they deserve. That's
absolutely. ناصنة إريتريا تعاود كل حزبي ناصنة حزبي عوت حزبي خلاص የኤርትራውያን ኣሕዋተይ ፍሪደም የድለና ካብዚኦም ኣሲሮምና ዘለዉ ብmental slavery እቲ ግዜ መፂሎ ሕጂ እቲ ግዜ with that said